Free.
Hello.
Is that the
Hello.
single stack? Hello.
Yeah, it's the single stack. 9.
Alright, I'm good to go.
Excellent. Alrighty then.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Alright, so everybody remember where we left off? You guys were basically captured by the...
We were having a good time in some cages on a boat,
Yeah.
and we didn't want to meet the rowers.
So after a
That's
little
right,
while,
the rowers.
being chained to the floor in your individual cells, you feel the boat begin lurching forward away from the docks. And there's a little porthole in each of your cells, and you can hear the oars hitting the water. And the boat begins moving quite quickly. After a while, you begin to see what you think is sunlight coming through the porthole in your cell. It seems to be daytime outside, as if you've probably left the cavern or whatever it was. And a few hours pass, and evening begins to come. You can see the light dimming outside of the porthole. And each of you hears these men, we'll just call them men for now, come to the door outside of your cell, and they open up your cell doors and lead you above decks. Night is falling. You're on this ocean. The ocean is sort of this phosphorescent blue that's glowing with this faint blue light. You can see the moon on the horizon. You see the stars, the clouds. And they basically hobbled you guys with these leg shackles, so it's kind of hard to walk, but your hands are free. And they bring you on the upper deck. They set you guys down underneath this awning. And these strange men, they kind of are whispering to each other. And they start kind of licking their excessively wide lips and glaring hungrily. And one of them goes below and returns from some hidden and offensive cabin with a pot and a basket of plates. And they all kind of squat close together beneath the awning and begin eating this smoking meat that they're passing around. And they hand you guys a portion of this meat, and you all look at it, kind of smell it, and you find something terrible in the size and shape of it, and it just makes you feel kind of sick. And you know, like Edgar, you're looking over at Eusephus, and he's just kind of becomes very pale. And you begin to think of those unseen rowers beneath, below decks, and of the suspicious nourishment from which their far too mechanical strength is derived.
What exactly is this?
They just grin at you as they kind of rip the meat off the bone with their teeth.
How many of there are there on deck right now?
There are 3 of them with you, with the 4 of you.
Our
Devlin,
hands are free?
your hands are free.
But we're still hobbled.
Yes, your legs are shackled.
How
Do we
close are we
think-
to them?
Yeah, do we think we can get to him?
Pretty close. You're all sitting kind of in a semicircle or underneath this awning.
Do
Are they
these guys
using utensils?
Nope.
do these guys have like
They all do
knives
have these
or
kind of long,
scimitars or-
yeah, they have these long, cruel-looking daggers and scabbards on their belts.
Um,
But
how...
it's a pretty large ship.
Okay.
It's a galley. It has masts, but it's more of a sort of long, narrow boat. And you can see, or rather hear, the oars. And you figure it's probably manned by 50 or more. It's designed to be manned by 50 or more rowers, probably below decks. It's a
How
pretty
many...
Are there
How
large
far
ship.
away are we from the edge of the boat?
Pretty close.
are there any smaller boats attached to this?
Not that you
If
can,
for a
not that
little-
you can see. No.
Well, let's see. I mean, I'll look at Stuart Devlin. He's still with us, right?
Yeah, he's kind of hesitantly nibbling on whatever the meat is.
I look at him and I shake my head. Don't eat that shit. And then,
Says-
so I give him a knowing look, and I give Jacob Crown and Shield, and we don't know Edgar that well, but I'm like, let's attack these motherfuckers. You know?
Well, if you were to say anything audibly, they would hear you.
As I
Yeah, I'm
recall-
not. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
looking at them, you know, like.
As I recall, we left. We got. We left how many of them alive?
On the beach, there were 6 of them, and I believe Jacob killed 2 of them.
Okay, so then that would mean that if 6 people were crewing this boat, which
Yeah.
we have no reason to expect that there would be less.
You would expect this large of a boat to probably have a fairly sizable crew.
Okay. But there's only 3 on deck right now. Are there any places, like, I'm kind of twisting around, are there any places is there like a captain steering it, or?
No, you see towards the back of the boat what appears to be this platform back there, and you can see it's got a wheel up there, but nobody is steering it.
It's just
Um,
moving on its own.
it seems to be sort of moving on its own, yeah.
Alright.
Is there only one entrance below deck? Is there
Near,
or is
near you, there appears to be what would be like a cargo hatch that's covered with this sort of brown tarp, but you can see it's apparently a hatch that opens, and where they brought you up from is a set of double stairs that lead down to where they brought you up from these cells.
are the double stairs open, or is there a door there?
They're open.
Can like the chain link? So we just got these on our legs, right?
Yes. Yeah, and they're tight and the chains are short. You could
tight.
barely walk as they were kind of leading you up here.
But we're close enough to where I could lunge onto one of these dudes and like strike him in the face. Did they give us the stuff on a plate or anything?
Yeah, they brought out this basket of plates. They're made of like tin or some kind of metal.
Okay. How
And
big
and
are
they also have a barrel that they have some cups, and they've served you guys some what appears to be water too.
So
don't drink that shit.
I see Yusuf as getting a little edgy here, and I'll to him and I'll whisper, I'll say, "My own, the other crew.
Say that again.
My only concern is the other crew."
Yeah, I hear you, but this might be one of our only chances to get out of this bitch. Do these
How
guys
big
have
are
like
how
keys
big-
or anything on them that we can see?
Not that you can see.
All right.
They're dressed in this very sort of like silky looking shirts and pantaloons, and they've got these very small shoes. Like their feet must only be about 6 inches long or something. They're kind of strange, and they've got these big kind of turbans heaped on their heads.
How big are the actual did they give us these, like, what kind of,
Right.
okay, the meat
You're
specifically.
cutting out on your nose.
Oh, am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, you guys are cutting out on me too. Weird. Might be networking then.
It's fine.
Might be the network then.
Try joining the game with again.
Hello? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hello? Oh no. That's not good. That's bad news. Well, I can't hear you if you guys can hear me. If you can, like, wave at the cam or something. Okay, you can hear me. That's good. But I can't hear you, so that's a thing.
I haven't really said anything.
Oh, I heard something. I don't know. I think it's our network. It's been kind of weird lately.
Going on.
Shoot. Things all real body. I can't hear anybody. That's a bad.
Hello, hello, hello.
Can you hear Dad?
Say something, Sean. Can you hear me, Sean? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kyle. It's just you're super robot-y.
That's what I'm using the robot voice.
Yeah, he's talking in there, but I can't
I
hear him.
can't hear him.
Weird. Already with this nonsense.
There we go. Finally.
Oh, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, it wouldn't connect to the Game Voice channel.
Weird. Wait.
You're coming in choppy.
Coming in choppy.
Yep. But at least I can hear you.
I can hear everybody pretty clearly now. I think, unless maybe Lee.
I can hear you guys. Yeah.
Okay, I can hear Lee too. Wow, now it just sounds better than ever. What the heck was that?
Craziness.
I don't know. Anyway, Alex, you were saying.
I wanted to know something. Something about the meat. I think it was how big are like, is there any bone in the meat? Is it like
Yes.
a full-on ham?
Yeah, the consistency and the texture of it appears to be something similar to like pork.
It's people. It's people. It's like Soylent Green. It's people.
It could be. I mean, you
It
know,
is.
you've never seen anything like it.
But the thing is, I'm like, oh, is
It's
this
kind of
like,
odd.
Okay, you said the shape of it's weird though. Is it like a leg?
Yeah, they look like legs or arms or.
Okay, so I can brandish it as a weapon. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
One of them kind of grins at you guys, and he says, "Go eat. You need
So I
to."
like.
Not
So I like
until you tell me what it is first.
motion to him, be like, "Come on, tell me. Look at this." I'm like, "Look at this over here." I'm like looking at the meat. I'm like getting a little closer, looking at the meat. I have my hands on the plate.
Yeah.
Both hands on either side of the plate. I'm like, "Oh, look over here."
He
The-
looks. No, he doesn't like lean towards you or anything. He says, "Oh yes, it is." He says, "It's delicious. You must regain your strength for the journey." He says,
Why
"Says
do
drink. It's water. No
Where-
worries."
Where are you taking us? Why do we need to regain our strength? Frankly, I don't understand why you haven't killed us yet.
He says we travel on the southern sea to the basalt pillars and beyond. You no worry. You have safe voyage. We're not going to hurt you.
Safe voyage as your prisoners.
I'm like,
He turns and he says something in some strange language.
okay, when he turns around, I jump across and try to strike him in the face. The
Okay.
guy closest to me, I go after him. I'm like, fuck this.
All right, Eusebius and his unnecessary violence. Roll
Beat him
a fist.
upside the head with the plate, Eusebius.
Yeah, roll
I've got a 50% punch,
All right.
punch. I want to do. Can I hit him more than once, or it's just one attack per round? I'm
just
trying to hit
once.
him.
Let's see if you can.
God damn.
Beautiful. That was awesome. A whole
Kyle and his
99 for the
freaking digital
first
dice.
one of the night.
Unbelievable. But
Dice
anyways, well, they'll warm up to me later.
Yeah. So he kind of dodges away from when you strike him, and he pulls out a dagger, and he points it at you, and he says, "No, that is not necessary. We will not have you doing that anymore, or we will hurt you badly." And he says something.
Not have you be
he
doing
says some-
that anymore.
We will let these guys speak kind of strangely, and he says something to the guy next to him, and he reaches down and he grabs Franklin by the arm and stands him up, and the other guy grabs Edgar by the arm and stands him up, and they begin pulling you back towards the stairway, the two of you.
Back to where the cells are.
Yeah. And shortly, two more of them show up. So Jacob and Eusebius and Devlin are there. And there are three of them there now with you guys. And they begin kind of manhandling you guys. They make you guys stand up, and they begin pulling and pushing you back towards the cells.
I don't think our idea of taking these guys hostage is a good idea.
Well, I don't think it's going well.
So do I see as they're pushing us around and moving us around? Do I see these guys? Do any of them have any keys on them?
Not apparently. I mean, you don't see them. I mean, they're not hanging off their belts or anything like that. So you guys are taken below decks, and this time you're put into a small, dark cabin. And they chain you guys to the floor by the shackles that they have on your feet. And as they're fixing you guys into these chains, you notice, all of you are in the same room. You guys notice a dirty and frail-looking human figure slumped in the corner, also chained to the floor. And they kind of fasten you guys, and they shut the door, and you hear it lock as they leave. The man appears to be sleeping or unconscious.
I hope he's the locksmith who knows the secrets out of these things.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He's a master lockpick.
Yeah, he's just been waiting for somebody to come along. So,
He appears to be human, probably in his late 30s, and he's dressed in a tattered robe, but the fabric looks kind of strange. It's like this oily fabric woven into like a triangular design.
So before we were all in our own individual cells, but now we're together?
Yes.
Cool, we've been upgraded to first class prison.
let's, you reckon we ought to wake our bunkie over there?
Absolutely. See what this guy's deal is. Hey, dude, what's your deal?
Yeah. It doesn't take much. You kind of nudge him, and he wakes. He's like, and he kind of rubs his eyes. He says, Oh, hello.
Who might you be, sir?
Andrew Trelane. Pleased to meet you. He seems rather chipper for being locked in
yeah.
this dark cabin with you guys.
Yeah, Andrew, I can't but help admire how well you're handling this imprisonment. I, for one, am not feeling terribly comfortable in our current situation.
Ah, yes, well. He says, well, I was foolish enough to take passage on the black ship at the port of Dilath Lean. I thought that I would safely take me to Caliphate in the Vale of Utnarga.
Right.
So you got Shanghai too, basically.
Yes, Shanghai. Yes, exactly.
And you knew about this ship before you stepped on board?
Yes. Well, I think I took the wrong ship, unfortunately.
There are more of these?
He says, and whither have you come? From whither? He says.
I try to give him the cliff note to how we got down here.
Oh, yeah?
We come from Earth, we went to the Well of Life, we fell in the Well of Life, and now we're here.
Oh. He kind of mutters to himself in sort of like fascination. And he says, ah, yes. He says, I too am from the waking world. But the dreamlands can normally only be attained through spiritual travel. My physical body is currently in London asleep. 'Tis odd. The passage of full physical beings to the dreamlands is quite unusual.
Well,
And he looks kind of confused a little bit, and he's peering closely at you guys through the dark. It's very dark in here.
Well, I can't say this place is any less dangerous than the waking world.
have you
Indeed.
tried have you tried to escape off of the ship?
There is no escape.
Well, you were chipper until just about now.
What were you planning?
He says, well, you see, my friend, for me, it is but a dream.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but,
good.
is
You can act like a wild man then. You can help us.
Well,
He laughs.
This is your lucid dream.
you ever die here before?
What?
You ever die here before?
No, there is no real dying here.
Okay.
I don't think you understand. You
No.
Americans.
For us.
Why don't you loop us into the understandification of our current circumstances?
That was an incredible string of words.
Yeah.
Yusufus got fancy on you.
He seems to kind of, he's like rubbing his chin. He's kind of looking at you all through the dark. He says, I have heard that the pre-human sorcerer, Aundor, has been preparing some loathsome design, certain to prove disastrous towards the world. I've been puzzling over this, but I suspect that your presence has something to do with Aundor.
Is that I try to go through my Yusufus files and I try to conjure the Colonel up in my head. Colonel, you know what he's talking about?
The Colonel's dead, Kyle.
I know, but
Oh.
he's traveling with me in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I have, he's a part of me now.
Oh, and I should mention too that when you guys were captured, the journal and the golden medallion were taken from you. Unfortunately.
That rackles me. Well, can we make it to the door from where we're chained?
No.
Can we try to pick our locks?
No. Trelane, Andrew Trelane, he says, I suspect that we'll be on this journey for several days. I suggest that you get comfortable.
Have you been eating the food they've been giving you?
He says the men from Lang will treat you well if you don't fight.
I don't trust them. Why
Frankly,
they got us
started
shackled up?
it.
It's really weird.
They're what are they, slavers?
No, my friend, they themselves are slaves. Um, and he kind of trails off. You hear him say something like, "We are currently in the Southern Sea, and Talarian is doubtless in that direction." He's kind of pointing at the porthole.
Hmm.
And he says, "Yes, indeed, I anticipated something like this, although I did not think that I would actually meet those of the waking world physically here in the Dreamlands." He says, "There is no escape." He says, "The designs of Houndor and what he is preparing, yes, yes, it must have something to do with that." And he kind of trails off, and he seems to be deep in thought.
Because we're here, but we're in the waking beings in the dreamland. Maybe we can affect that some other creature could not.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
Possible.
yes, perhaps, yes. And he begins to say something, and at that moment, you hear the clinking of metal at the door, and the door bursts open, and two of these men from Lang come in, and they grab Trelane by both arms, and they unlock him from the floor, and they lead him out the door, very roughly, I might say.
Wait.
And they kind of slam him up against the wall as he kind of struggles a little bit, and he's like, "Oh!" And they drag him out, and sort of in a feeble gasp, he kind of turns like this to you all, and he says, "Beware, beware that which may damn us all." And he's dragged off, and the door is slammed, and you hear him screaming out there.
Oh God. I look at the picture of the kitten on the wall, hanging from the branch, hanging there.
Right.
Take heart in that.
Yeah. His screams after a few moments are cut short.
Well, I guess lucky he was just dreaming, maybe.
Yeah.
One can only hope.
So lucky for us. I'm looking at these chains, how they're affixed to the floor, man. Are they bolted?
Yeah, there's like a metal ring or a half ring coming up out of the floor that's attached to the wood itself.
So I'll
With some
take
very stout bolts.
so
and
I'll
the
take
chain-
both my hands and grab that to torque it with all my might, dude.
It's fast, dude. It's pretty strong.
I consider what he said about being in a dreamland, and
Yes.
I think to myself, well, if it's a dream, maybe I can do what I want in a dream. So I try to imagine myself, slipping straight out of these shackles and see how that goes. I got time on my hands.
Yeah, the first time you try it, you're not successful, but then you think, maybe I just I need to focus a little more. Maybe if I just really concentrate, but yeah, it's futile.
Hmm.
It's not working. Um, so
Maybe if we. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Maybe if we what?
I was gonna say, maybe if we all marshal our strength against this bolt in the floor, every single one of us does it, works together. Maybe we can get this thing out of the floor.
Do we still have our personal items? Like, do I still have my ring on me? Is that
No.
on my hand?
No,
Those items are gone.
no. All of you are just wearing sort of this white linen, very plain robe.
They take the colonel's.
They did. They took everything.
The prison that we're in, is it bar? Like, are there bars?
No, there is no window in the door itself. The only opening in the chamber or in the cabin, the dark cabin that you guys are in, is a small porthole, about 6 feet up above the floor.
What leads in?
A door,
And
a
it's
very
just
stout oak door.
It's just a wooden door, huh?
Yeah, a wooden door, sort of bound with iron bands. And no matter how hard you try and how hard you pull, the chains just will not come loose.
Maybe someone should have eaten just so that we could use bones to fashion some stuff out of.
I think back to his comments, like his body is still in London. I try to focus again and maybe draw myself back to my corporal body if this is just a dream state.
You do. Try. Time passes, and you all begin growing tired.
Well, I'm gonna... No.
I'll go to sleep, man, with a mind to try to figure out how the hell to get out of this predicament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself about how I can make... I mean, they seem to be relatively... I mean, they're not, like, evil. Like,
Yeah, they just took a guy out of the room and he was screaming.
Not, I mean, they seem to
and
be
he was like, "They're okay
us,
guys."
Well, they seem to be treating us all right, so I'm thinking about how we can use that to our advantage.
Well, he said that they were slaves, and he said they were fishers, collecting people for some nefarious purpose. You know, I mean, Shanghaiing people, I mean, normally, it would be, obviously, they have people enslaved down there, which they treat like total animals and feed people to and kill and whatever, all that craziness is going to yeah. This is a hell ship.
Yeah,
Or on
I get that. I understand.
on a hell
What
ship.
I mean by they're not evil is more like they're treating us nicely, so we might be able to use that to our advantage.
The night passes. You're all woken the next morning by a shaft of sunlight coming through the porthole. Apparently it's morning. And about an hour passes, and a couple of these men come into the chamber and unlock you guys from the floor and lead you back above deck, up into the ship.
While they're leading us, I'm going to ask about the dude that was just brutally murdered the night before.
You're going to ask about the guy who was brutally murdered the night before. You
Yes.
mean well, what did he say exactly?
What was the dude's name?
Andrew Trelane is who he claimed to be.
What did you do with Trelane?
No answer. Just sort of a wicked grin from all of these guys. You do notice, Edgar, that something you haven't noticed before. They have sort of very small eyes, but in the sunlight as they bring you up above decks there, their eyes are definitely not human. They have sort of vertical pupils, almost like a snake. Their pupils aren't round. You notice they have almost like snake-looking eyes. They're kind of weird. Something you didn't notice before. They chain you guys to the deck up above, and again you can see towards the stern of the ship. Nobody apparently is steering this ship. It just seems to be driven by demon winds and currents, perhaps. There's no land in sight. It's a sunny day. The sea itself is just pure blue. You know, unlike Earth seas, it's just it's actually quite beautiful to look at. Very sparkly and glowing. And there's no land in sight. Judging by the position of the sun, the ship is sailing due west. And you see during...
This place has
Yeah. And during later that morning, you can see that these sailors, these men, begin casting nets into the sea, and they're catching fish. And they offer you guys some smoked fish early that afternoon. It seems edible.
I'll take that.
But yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, you guys are very hungry. You also notice that afternoon that the sailors periodically cast food to the mysterious rowers below decks.
Like they just cast it overboard.
Well, there's sort of a hatch, almost like a trap door, on the deck of the ship that they open, and they just start throwing fish and other meat down into this hole.
Is it
Uh,
raw?
No, it's cooked.
Okay. Are there any like verbal responses?
No, it's just the rowers just seem to be rowing endlessly, and the boat is traveling very quickly. Whoever these rowers are, they must be very, very strong.
Um,
'Cause the ship is traveling very, very swiftly.
how many men of lying are on deck?
You guess, just from observing that day, that there are at least half a dozen. You never see more than 6 of them at a time. So it's quite possible that only 6 of them are on the ship, but there could be more. It's a pretty big ship. There could be more below decks. You don't know.
And they're not really discernible from each other in any given way at all?
No, they're very heavily clothed. All you can see is just kind of, the bottom of their faces are usually partially covered. Um, Sometimes they take off these mask things that they have. You can see these wide mouths that they have.
But what about
Um,
like clothing or pennants or rings or anything?
yeah, some of them have jewelry. Some of them wear chains
I'm going.
that look like they're made of precious metal around their waists and their wrists.
I want to take.
They have these very curious shoes.
I want to take
They're
into
very
my
short.
mind very specifically. Um, each one's like a piece of attire that each one has to differentiate them.
Hmm.
Just so I can know if there are indeed only 6 here, and if there's more,
All right.
they'll have different stuff.
All you guys give me an idea roll. Let me know if you make it.
I made it.
Oh.
98.
Yeah, what the hell is going on?
So many 98s and 99s rolled in this game so far.
I know, it's crazy.
I looked at the flask.
Yeah. Edgar, how did you do there?
I made it.
You made it. Okay.
Got a
You guys are
22.
quite certain. The day kind of drags on, and towards the end of the day, as the sun begins to set, you guys are quite sure that there are only 6 of these men on the ship. You're pretty sure.
After I'm like positive of that, I pipe up. Now, which of you is the captain?
One of them, the nearest one to you, walks over to you and says, how about we make you captain? Ha! He says, would you like to steer? Ha ha ha!
Well,
Are we close
that's
enough to
mighty
talk to
kind
each
of
other?
you, but I
Yeah,
think I will
you're all-
decline.
Yeah, you're all chained to the deck pretty close to each other. Not within, you can't really get close enough to like touch each other or anything, but
I kind of
you're all kind of chained near the railing on one side of the ship.
like gesture back with Who exactly is steering this ship, anyways?
He says, I don't know. What do you think?
Is it the wind?
That's what I gotta do. I gotta do the Rosanna Dana accent for these guys. Uh, he says, well, you tell me. Would you like to steer?
No, I already said I don't. Um, it's very kind of you to ask, though. Now,
He seems to be mocking you.
yeah. Now, who decides what course we're taking? And where are we going? I think we at least deserve that.
He says, where do you think you're going?
Well, you said you're going somewhere called the Basalt Pier, or Basalt. What'd you say? Basalt Pillars? You said you've been there
Yes.
before. You going there?
Yes.
Why?
You will see. You
Ah,
will
come.
see.
Ah, come on now. We're kind folk. We can get along.
He says, I would hate to spoil the surprise for you.
Oh my god! All Eusephus can think of is
So,
like, I wish I had my shotgun so I could blow this guy's head off.
Right. Yeah.
so when they're chaining us to the deck, they have to. I assume there's a lock and someone's unlocking. So there's a moment, right? Where they're unlocking us.
Yes. There are keys involved, indeed.
Yeah. So I say if we're gonna try anything, man, it's the go to actually try to unlock us.
Yeah.
Usually there's 2 or 3 of them around us. Is that correct when they're unlocking us?
Yeah. Well, there are 4 of you, so there's 4.
Say that's
They
the
appear.
moment to do it, dude.
Yeah.
Simultaneous
They
groin
appear.
punches.
They appear to be storing these keys somewhere down in their pantaloons. They must have some inside pockets or something like that.
Oh god!
I'm gonna punch
Gotta
my
get
way
grumpy on
into
the
those
boat.
pantaloons, dude. I communicate this in a low hushed tone to everybody. I'm like, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's when they come to get us down to unlock us,
Yeah.
so that's when we all have to attack them.
All right.
As evening falls, you all kind of expect them to come and unchain you and bring you back down to your dark cabin. But it's a warm night. The stars begin coming out. It's quite clear. The moon is kind of abnormally large. It's kind of strange. But they just kind of leave you guys chained to the deck that evening. And later on that night, they bring you some more fish and some strange looking, what you think at first are vegetables, but it turns out to be some sort of strange white fungus that are kind of thinly sliced, and they have some kind of strange syrupy sauce on them. They smell like they're edible. The fish is certainly edible, and they provide you with water as well.
Well,
I'll
I'll
stick
eat
to the
the
fish and
fungus.
water.
I'll eat the fungus.
It's delicious. It's kind of like reminiscent of a mushroom, and it's got sort of this sweet, smoky sauce covering it.
I'll observe, Mr. Case.
Are there any? So we're still above deck, right?
Yes,
They're still above deck.
yes, yes. They are. That evening, as you guys are chained to the deck, they're kind of camped out around this um, lantern that they have on the deck, and they all seem to be kind of sitting around, eating and talking, kind of on the other side of the ship, away from you.
I call over to the one that talked to me before.
The mocker.
Yeah. Like, did he have? Like I said, I wanted to know what kind of like jewelry they were wearing so that I can differentiate them.
Okay.
What kind? Like, what was the differentiating thing about him? Because you said they're all wearing different stuff.
Yeah. Well, they're all of slightly different stature. Some of them are larger than others. Some of them are short. Some of them are tall. Some of them are broad, some of them are a little thinner. Although they all look pretty beefy, pretty lean and muscular. But two of them, when you call over, two of them come over, and they got these big grins on their faces.
Is one of them the same one as before?
One of them is. He says, "Ah, what a lovely night! Look at the stars."
You're right. It is mighty beautiful. Now, I was wondering, what exactly are your names? We never introduced each other.
He says, "No, we don't share our names with the likes of you. Would not be good." He looks to the guy next to him. Good business, I guess you say.
So you think this is a business venture?
Why, yes.
And what are we getting out of it?
You will see. You will see. You are a very impatient one. This one right here. Very impatient.
Nah, I'm not.
You should enjoy the voyage, he says. He says, "It is beautiful, no?" As he kind of gestures to this guy.
No, it's very beautiful, and I'm not impatient at all. I'm just trying to get to know you because, well, you've been showing me some level of kindness, what with feeding me and giving me free passage to wherever it is you're going.
Free passage.
Well, that's what you
And they
call
both
it.
laugh. Yes, indeed. Free passage.
Are one of these guys one of the guys with the keys?
Well, from experience, they all seem to possess keys of some sort.
I look over at Jacob. Two of them, and they're sassy motherfuckers.
Be
Yeah,
better if we get them when they try to release us from the chains.
Because their hands are going to be busy.
Yeah, their hands are going to be busy and the keys will be out. That's when we punch them square in the fucking pouch.
The key pouch.
Yeah, the key pouch.
I should kind of note that Jacob, you're still badly gut shot. Just remember.
But he's like a cornered animal, just making him more vicious.
I suppose you could look at it that way, yeah.
Yeah, of course I have to.
Looking up, or any of the, are there any familiar constellations or anything?
How are you at astronomy?
Not very good, but I think anybody can find the North Star, right?
Yeah. Constellations are.
I'll give astronomy a shot.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Why not? Everybody can roll if you want.
How many days have we been at sea?
This is your second day.
No.
Second day. How many hit points do you heal, Sean? What's the hit point healing rate
1d3 per week, Lee.
per week?
Yeah, and another d3 if you're under medical care.
Gotcha.
So I'll let you know when.
Wow, you're a lot closer than I am to finding the North Star.
Yeah. Again, if it says 0 in the text box there, it means you failed. If you use those macros from the sheet.
What the hell?
There should be O1s too, by the way.
Yeah, mine's an 01, although it's just
Yeah.
saying
It says.
zero.
You got
Okay.
a 15%, which is pretty
Um,
good.
Yeah, the stars are just really completely unfamiliar to you. You can't tell one way or another.
I asked the sailor.
But you certainly don't see any familiar constellations that you may.
I asked the man of Lang. Hey, which of these is the North Star?
He kind of scrunches his nose up. And he says, "The North Star."
Yeah, the star that always points north. How do you navigate if not by the stars?
There is no North Star. You are crazy.
I'm
You are
crazy.
you are a funny man.
Well,
That's very funny. He says.
well, what do you guide yourselves by? You're sailors. You gotta know something about the night sky.
He says, "You don't know much, do you? You're a very curious man.
Ask them for if they have any medical attention for my wound.
He kind of raises his eyebrow when you said that. He says,
But
"What's the matter?"
oh, got hurt.
Points the bleeding gash in his side.
He says, yeah. He says, yeah, maybe. Maybe we can do something for you. You got to be nice, though.
Oh, indeed.
You promise?
Smile. I smile. Oh, yes, I promise.
He laughs.
Laugh a little friendly laugh back. Oh, yes. Yes.
Devlin,
Friendly? I've been nothing but.
yeah, Devlin kind of says under his breath, like towards Jacob, he says, Jacob, I don't think we want to rile these guys up too much. He's kind of getting nervous. And you can see why. It's like these guys, they're playing with you guys, obviously.
Yes.
Right.
And, and you guys are chained to the deck, unarmed. I don't know. Devlin's just kind of a little nervous, so he just says something to you, like, don't provoke these guys.
I haven't said anything mean or nasty. Kind.
They leave. You guys are there chained to the deck for a couple of hours until 4 of them come back.
Wait,
hold
on.
Yeah.
After about a half an hour passes, with them just not coming back,
Yeah.
I look to Jacob, Eusephus, and Devlin. I guess Franklin too. Well, and we're only hobbled, right? Are we chained to
Yes.
the deck, or are we just hobbled?
You are chained to the deck.
Okay.
And there are these metal loops that are fastened to the deck that your chains run through.
How far away is the, first of all, the hatch?
No.
That leads
Not too far, about 20 feet away from you.
Can we get there?
No. The chain's very short.
How short?
Short enough to where if you stood up, you couldn't move, 2 feet away from where you're chained to the deck.
Oh, okay. Where's the entrance to the upper deck here?
I mean, the entrance to the lower deck where the cells are and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's towards the stern of the ship, pretty far away.
Okay. Never mind then. I thought we
After a couple of hours of enjoying the sights, the lovely night. Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's what everyone's focused on right now.
Yeah. 4 of them come back and begin unchaining you from the deck. You presume that they are probably going to be leading you back to the dark cabin for the night. So 2 of them begin unchaining you, kind of in turn, from the deck. You still got the shackles on, but they're releasing you from the rings that are embedded into the deck itself.
Jacob, is this the time you wanted to throw down?
Afraid so, man.
This is it.
All right.
Well, as they bending over and removing the chain, man, I
I'm
All
gonna
right.
punch to the head.
I'm gonna swipe a knife. I'm gonna try and swipe one
All
of
right.
their knives.
All right.
We're
Let's
gonna
get
attack
initiative.
too.
Let's get initiative going then.
Yep.
All right.
Let's see. Franklin,
Wankwin.
17. 17. Put sailor. Give me a second to set this up.
Step away for just a second.
Sure. Let's go over to this screen for this so we can have some tokens.
Tokens.
So we'll remove him and him. It's pretty neat. I can just right-click on these tokens and add everybody.
Oh, that is cool.
All right, so Devlin's got a 17. Franklin's got a 15. Edgar has got a 12. Jacob is at 12. And Eusephus is at 13.
I mean, Franklin is just going to use his turn to cower or something.
Probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. It's just, you know.
At least he can punch to the pouch.
He should. He's held back long enough.
Yeah, maybe I'll do something cool like push one into the rower pit.
All right.
Or draw. I mean, he did try to kill himself on the way down. So, you know, if he just pulled one on top and was like, kill me, it'd be the same thing.
He failed miserably.
He did.
All right.
Throws himself under knives. Wah!
All right. So Stuart kind of takes his cue. And he tries to grab one of these guys.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Franklin. Oh, Franklin. Let's see what he's got here. All right,
He's got
gonna,
enough self-respect to start fighting.
yeah, he's going to try to assist Devlin.
Yes.
Eusephus.
They're slippery
Here,
creatures.
let me make a roll here. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of you. 2, 4, 6. Edgar and Jacob, you both have been released from the deck at this point. And so when Jacob was released, you know, that's when he, you know, was like made his move. So both Edgar and Jacob are released from the deck.
Okay.
Eusephus, you're still chained to the deck, but you're within reach, you know, of one of these guys.
Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking I should just punch him because it's my best chance to hit.
Okay.
So I would try to grapple him, but hold on. What's going on with my character sheet? Grappling's going to be dicey at best. So
Yeah, grappling's always dicey unless you put some points into it. I think it's
all
like
right.
25.
Punching it is. I'll try to punch the guy closest to me.
All right.
Oh.
All
Did
right.
not hit.
There's a throwdown on the deck of the black ship. Jacob, it's going to be your turn.
Are we rolling from our character sheets? And if so, why are there 2 boxes next to the handed?
I think
Sorry.
one of them. Yeah, I think the second one is for French.
Oh, okay.
Either one should work. That's a miss. With the fist. Edgar.
Can I pull?
Now remember, if you plan on trying to dodge an attack, you want to forego your attack.
Right.
You will get a chance to parry, though, depending on what they attack you with. I mean, if they attack you with a knife, of course, you're not going to be able to parry, but...
What
Did
would it take
we
to
surprise him
grab-
at all?
Yeah.
What would it take to grab the knife out of the dude's sheath?
Basically 2 successful grapples.
Really?
One to make contact and one to disarm.
Out of the sheath, though? It's not like I'm wrestling it from his hand.
Yeah. Feel lucky?
No, not at all. hoping that wouldn't take. What would it take to chain him to the boat with the chains that I had just on my leg?
Chain him to the boat. I'm not sure how that could be possible. Because you got shackles on each of your ankles with the very short chain between the
anymore.
shackles.
He unhooked
mean-
me.
Right, from the deck. Your shackles were fastened to the deck. You still have the shackles on your feet to just kind of hobble you, you know?
Okay, if I just like rushed the dude and I like tried to get him on the ground.
That's also a grapple.
Darn it, grappling
That would
is-
only require actually one successful grapple though.
Would
to
he
knock
be
him
able
down.
to get his knife just mechanically?
Well, he probably would have to forego his attack because he's on the ground.
Right,
Yeah.
but I can't really do that.
I mean, knocking someone down does have its advantages in a melee combat.
Well, I suppose I'll punch.
It's probably the first fight that Edgar Casey's ever been in. So,
Suppose I'll bring my hands down on the dude's weird head.
all right,
Smash him.
Hey, that's nothing.
it's a miss.
God
Okay.
damn.
So that was a surprise round. All right, so we're gonna go back to Stuart Devlin. Devlin. He's gonna try to grapple again. Come on, Devlin. Damn it.
He's a grappling fool, that Devlin.
Franklin will also try.
There's just so
Same-
much you can
same
do
guy.
with grappling.
Come on, Franklin.
Uh,
Still proud of him. He's not rolling over and crying yet.
Yeah. Let me do something here. Just for the heck of it, just to kind of give you guys a graphic representation here, if this works. Two,
If somebody else were to
Three.
successfully grapple
four.
one of these creatures before they unsheath their knife, would we be able... What is that?
Forgive me.
Oh, man. Those are bad tokens. They're silly looking.
Just to help keep track of who's attacking who, okay?
Alright.
We're being attacked by the village people.
Yeah.
The band. Alright. Anyways,
Yusufus is going to be up here. It's your
Poor
turn.
snake people.
if somebody grappled one of them, would it still take a successful grapple for somebody else to take the knife out of the sheath?
Yes.
There's no sleight of hand mechanic in this game?
No, there's a grapple mechanic in this game. So we've got, let's see, Devlin and Franklin on the number one guy here. We've got Jacob trying to punch the number two guy here, along with Yusufus. And Edgar's on this guy trying to grab his knife on number three. So what you gonna do, Yusufus?
Kill
Oh.
Yusufus, kill.
I am going to try to punch this dude again.
All right. Good luck.
Yes.
Hey.
Smack.
Okay, and so it's 1d3.
Believe so.
All right, so I'll just roll a d6. 2.
All right. He takes it like a man. Next up is Jacob.
All right, I'll punch.
All righty.
Nice.
Hey, that's a hit.
And you've got like bonuses with your damage, don't you, Lee?
Yeah, I have 1 to 3 plus 1 to 4.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Crush his skull.
Right? Isn't that right, Sean?
Yeah, you get your damage bonus on any melee attack.
Okay, so what should I roll? 1 to 6 and then a 1 to 4?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, hey, Lee, don't forget to check your punch skill.
That's right.
All right, so that comes up as 1 damage on the D3. You did that last time, Lee. You keep rolling 1s. All right, so that's 2. He's hurt. You hurt him.
All right.
All right, Edgar. What crazy shit you gonna try to do this round?
Well, I'm going to
Get him,
attack.
boy.
I'm going to. Can I turn and punch the one that that Jacob just punched?
Sure.
Okay.
So you're kind of moving over here with these guys.
Oh, I saw the
You-
one first.
Your feet are free. That's a miss. All right, Sailor 1 pulls out his knife and stabs at Jacob, who's in his face.
Here comes
Well-
Conan the Barbarian.
Actually, who does he attack? He's gonna attack Eusephus.
Wise choice.
He misses.
Hooray.
Sailor 4 over here is going to attack that one, the knife.
Damn.
That's a hit.
It's a shame you lost your dynamite when coming into the dream world.
I don't know if this is a dynamite situation.
What are you talking about? Every situation is a dynamite situation.
You've been hanging out with JJ Walker too much. Dynamite!
All right, so he's going for the knockout attack. So that's a 16. All right,
Uh-oh.
pretty low chance.
Oh!
No. So I looked up the rule. It's actually if they fail the knockout attack, you take 1/3 the damage.
I was gonna say, it's a little weird not to take any damage for them
No,
failing to knock
No,
you
you
out.
take. Yeah, you take 1/3. So you're gonna take 2.
You rolled a 25, though.
Right. He needed a 10.
It's kinda
It's
funny, though,
It's
the
Devlin's
virtual-
it's Devlin's Constitution of 16, I believe, versus the damage of 6 on a
It's funny,
resistance
though,
table.
the virtual dice rolled a 25, but it like detected that it rolled a 25 as it was rolling, so it switched, like it rolled just a little bit over, and now it's an 85 on my screen. A little weird.
All right, Sailor 3 is going to move over here on you guys. He's going to attack Eusephus.
No!
Actually, Dad, I'm attacking the one on with.
Oh,
Jacob.
that's a definitely hit.
Oh, right, we're all three on this poor man.
Let's impale for that.
Yucky.
Oh, he just got the impale on you, dude. All right, Eusephus, from your character sheet. Here, I'll do it for you here, actually. Your constitution is 15. His damage is 8. So 8, 15.
Oh my god.
Wait, that's not right. Hold on. The active characteristics at the top, not the bottom. That's a fail.
That's
Woohoo!
a 7.
Oh, it's an 07. He rolled an 07. Oh, under 85.
Yeah.
So he did. Okay. So Yusufus, you feel this. He hits you right in the noggin, man, with the pommel of his dagger and knocks you out.
Ooh,
That's bad news. That's bad news, Bears.
Whack.
it is. So now, how many hit points did I take? 8?
You're going to take 1/3 of that, so take 2.
Okay. And then I go unconscious.
Yes.
Oh man.
That was Sailor 3. Sailor 2 is on Jacob. The knife. Also trying to knock you out.
This guy's face.
A knife. It's a miss.
Knife.
Stuart
Get him,
goes up to
Devil.
4 here. Come on, Devlin.
Come on, Stuart. Grappling. Start punching.
Nice.
Ugh.
Oh, really? Is his base 25?
Yeah, I
Ow.
think.
Stop making him grapple.
He loves to wrestle men. He's been on a boat by. What can he say?
He needs to join the English Navy, not be adventuring.
Franklin tries to punch him.
Oh,
That's what it
Franklin,
is.
I feel your pain, brother.
Yusufus, next round I'll let you make a constitution check. Jacob,
Okay.
you're up. The odds are a little stacked against you guys here, I must say.
Yes, they're armed.
Oh, man, our rolls.
It's a fisty miss. Edgar.
Alright, is that hatch open or is it closed?
You mean the hatch down to where the rowers are?
Yes.
It's closed
Also,
and latched
how far
and also
away,
covered with a tarp.
How far away is the edge of the boat?
Not 15 feet away from you.
How high up?
From the water?
No, how high up is there? Is there like a guard, a wall?
Yeah, there's a railing about 3 feet high up off the deck.
Can I punch and then move?
Yeah.
Alright.
You're not going to move very far, though. You're hobbled.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You have shackles on your feet.
Not anymore. That you said that me and Jake.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. So you've had shackles on your feet since they brought you onto the
Yes.
boat. What they do is they attach your shackles to the deck, to the floor of the boat.
Well, that's okay.
So your feet are still shackled and you can't walk very well, but you're loose. You know what I'm saying? You're loose from the deck of the boat.
I imagine I can move 15 feet though.
Not quite.
Really?
You get maybe halfway there, if that.
I guess I'll punch then, and then try and move towards the edge of the boat.
Okay.
Damn.
These virtual dice are hating me. They're hitting everyone.
They really
Yeah.
are.
Got a knife attack on Franklin. Hits. He's just going to wound Franklin at this point. Franklin takes 3. He cries out, "Ow!"
Uh-huh.
You know what? I'm still proud of him. He's fighting at least. He can
He
make
is.
he can make as many girly noises as he wants. He's still manning up. I love it.
He's shackled to the the deck of the boat, and he's fighting this guy one-on-one right now.
Yeah,
So you gotta kind of hand it to him.
I'm
Sure.
I'm all in.
All right, this guy's on Devlin. Let's see if you can hit him. Nope. This guy's gonna be on Edgar.
Oh, he's gonna walk towards me?
Yep.
That's good.
Nope.
So I'm on my own separate, like, thing here. Which guy attacked me?
3. Uh-oh. Jacob got hit.
Oh shit.
Oh no. All right. So what we're looking at here, let me just use the chart. It's a 5 damage versus Jacob's Constitution, which is 12. Shit. All right, he's got a 15% chance to knock you out. Nope. All right, Stuart. Stuart's gonna punch this guy this time.
Hooray!
But he still has to take 1/3 damage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jacob's gonna have to take 1 damage. Hey,
Exactly.
Devlin landed a blow.
Good old
He's-
Devlin.
He's a strong mofo too.
I hear some bone crunching.
Plus 1d.
Nice.
Hooray! Hurrah!
All right, progress. Next up is going to be Franklin.
Get him, Doc.
All right, punch.
We're rooting him on.
Yes.
Oh, Franklin connects.
Cheer rises up from the party. Yeah!
Yeah, man.
Kick his ass! Kick his ass!
Oh, of course.
He does 1 damage.
You gotta start somewhere.
All right, Yusufus, give me a con times 5 check.
A con times 5 check.
Yeah, so it's going to be 75.
So I have to roll
75 or under.
75 or under. Okay, let's see if we can.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't allow this, but just to make it interesting. All right, Yusufus, your eyes come open. You got this splitting headache. You're seeing double, but you're awake. You get to act next round.
Okay.
Jacob, it's your turn. You're on this number 2 guy over here. Oh!
My God.
What the fuck, man?
One of those rolls was awesome. The other one just,
Oh my
the-
goodness
I punched myself in the
gracious.
face.
Yeah, no,
long
we're not.
looping punch.
Punch myself in the face.
We'll forget the fumble.
Alright, we're gonna continue to harry this guy with my...
Oh, I'm afraid that deserves some type of like trip and fall or something.
Make a dex times 5 check.
There are fumbles in this game?
Yeah, 100 is always some kind of fumble.
Double zero, man. That's horrible penalty involved here.
60%. You made it. You're
All
okay.
right, thank goodness. Yes. All right, so
All right,
recovered
Edgar.
from my stupidity.
You're
Yeah,
about to
it
fall
just-
over. and
It
then-
went. The punch went a little wide.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, look at that.
holy crap, I hit.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Punch. All right.
I wasn't expecting that. What do I roll?
It's the 1d3. I don't have a D3 button up here, but by the way, you guys, you can do /R space and then type in 1d3 or 2d20 or whatever. It's kind of a quick way to roll dice in the chat box.
Bless you.
Holy
It's
cow!
/R. Look at that,
Thank you.
max
All right.
max damage.
And then I'm gonna do my little hobbledygook back towards the.
All right, so you're kind of backing away from this guy with your fist raised like this,
Yes.
bobbing and weaving.
Yep.
All right, all right. This guy's on Franklin over here. That is a hit.
Uh-oh.
He's not trying to knock him out either. 3. Ugh!
Franklin, no.
Knife on Devlin.
Yay.
Miss. All right, we're down to this guy on the Edgar. Remember, you guys, you can save your action to dodge. That's a hit.
Uh-oh. Oh shoot.
Take 4 damage.
Oh, they're not messing around anymore.
Sailor 2 on Jacob.
4 damage?
4 damage.
You're yay.
That's a miss. All right, we're back to Stuart. Come on, Stuart.
Get him, boy. Crushing blows, crushing blows.
Oh. Hold on, that might he has a high punch thing here. 60%, not quite.
That's still high, though.
Franklin. He's for dodge. Kind of a little intimidated now. He's a little bloody. Wait. It's your turn. You're kind of lying in front of the deck at this point. You get this fight on there.
Alright, well.
At your backing against the ship.
Yeah,
The
you're
guy
robot right now.
one on Stuart, one on
Well, I guess so standing out. I can read this number 2 guy here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take a swing at him.
Alright. He's also been somebody.
Yes.
Jacob. A hit. Alright, damage is 1d3.
Another 2 points of damage.
Alright. He's broken. Alright, Jake.
Did we lose him?
You'll need a second to get back here. I need to go pay out the right back.
Man, our fights are always like super brawls. I'll go get some water.
Well, I was getting a little bit of robot-y too. All right. It shouldn't matter. Okay. Well, let me reconnect then.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I think sometimes, like, it might be good practice just every once in a while to reload your Roll20 page. I think that might have something to do with it too, even though it has nothing to do with our voice chat. I think the client, the Roll20 client, may interfere with that sometimes.
What I miss? What I miss?
Nothing. We're on Jacob right now. Yusuf has
All right.
just punched the guy that you guys are fighting there. He's hurt pretty bad. It's Jacob's turn.
Do we get Lee back?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
A narrow miss. Edgar, you're up.
Get him, boy.
Let me mark
Alright.
Franklin for a dodge here.
Alright. We're finally on the edge of the boat.
Yo.
You are at the edge of the boat.
If I grapple the guy, will that allow me to toss him overboard?
Yes, I believe that would take another grapple though. Actually, I would allow it if you could get a successful grapple on him to do basically a knockdown attack to kind of grab him and kind of shove him towards the railing. It's gonna take a grapple though. You can do it.
Oh, yes!
And
Yes,
over.
that's so sweet, dude.
Alright!
Exercise
All
over the boat, man.
Mark
All right,
that
so you-
skill.
Yeah, so you like grab him by the arm like this and like kind of pull him towards you. And he trips and stumbles, and you're able to kind of elbow him back like this, and he goes flying over the railing, and you hear a curse sploosh.
Yes,
Very
good.
nice.
Let the rowers have him.
And he disappears. I love it.
Yeah, man overboard. All right, number one
Let's-
guy's on Franklin. If he hits,
Yeah, what
Franklin
we deal
will be
with.
able to dodge.
Yay.
He doesn't. Doesn't hit, so this guy's on Devlin. You guys are doing really good here at this point. The tide has turned. Oh, he hits Devlin.
Oh, man, he really hits Devlin.
Actually, he should have another one of those too. That's an impale. Ouch.
But was he trying to knock him out?
No, not at this point.
No.
Devlin's still, he's up in points, but he gets stabbed. Devlin, oops, I need to bring that back up because I reloaded. See, Devlin's got a 16,
Welcome to the world of gut wounds, my friend.
7 damage. 16, 7. Oh.
Can we have your rolls? You want to switch?
Actually, that was Devlin's check to see if he went unconscious.
It
He made
was.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
It was good.
Yeah.
So he did give us that roll.
Yeah, let me do a rules check just real quick here.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Right. He's not rolling against the damage, actually, because he was rolling for shock, which is Constitution times 5. If you take more than half of your hit points in one blow, you have to make a con 5 times 5 roll or go unconscious. So he made it. Sailor 3. Where did Sailor 3 go? Oh, he went overboard.
Yeah, sayonara, Sailor 3.
Sailor 2. Let's see who he attacks. He's going to attack Eusephus.
Damn him. Oh, really? Damn,
Oh.
he just hates me.
Almost an impale. I believe he needed an 8. He kind of got lucky there.
Yes.
Eusephus takes 3 damage
Okay.
from the wicked dagger. All right, Devlin. Yeah, Devlin's gonna punch him. Gonna punch him silly.
Yeah.
15, 16, 12. He needed a 12 for an impale. But he gets some pretty
You
nice
can
damage here.
impale with your fists?
Oh no, my bad. Thank you.
It was the Fist of the North Star moment.
He does 1d3 plus 1d4.
It's some kind of nice Fist of the North Star moment for.
Exactly. The head explodes, but the eyeballs slowly drip out of the skull.
Uh-oh.
Come
Gotta
on,
make-
Devlin, you can do better than that.
Oh.
Holy crap.
Ooh.
Sailor makes his con check.
Big time makes it.
He's hurt. He's bloody.
Jesus Christ, Dad, are you using a different program than us? What the heck?
Yeah, I'm cheating, okay? I'm cheating. Franklin.
Come on,
Frank-
Franklin.
Franklin moves. He like kind of shimmies on over here behind Devlin. He's going to be attempting to dodge this turn again. We're back to Eusephus. You failed your cheat scanning roll.
Darn it, now we'll never know.
All right, I'll strike this guy again. I'll
All right.
smile, spit some blood, and get after him.
Right in his eye.
Ah, damn. Nope.
All right, Jacob, you're up.
All right, I'll
Haymaker.
serpent person right in his serpenty face. I kind of like you, Snake Man.
Cue up the
Yeah.
bowling ball sound effect, Dad.
Yes.
That was my bowling.
All right, so let's.
Hi-ho!
1 for the 1d3, and then plus 1d4. Oh!
Holy
Oh.
cow.
Fist of the North Star effect. His head explodes.
All right, so Haymaker, man, right to the jaw. Crack! He falls on his ass on the deck.
Take his
Yes.
knife.
You
Dude.
think he broke his skull or his neck or both?
Good.
That shot.
I laugh.
feel- I feel satisfied about that. I turned to the nearest ugly Snake Man.
Yeah, there's 2 of them over there on Devlin who's chained to the deck.
Oh, we're the cavalry
Edgar.
is coming.
Yeah, Edgar. Well, yeah, Eusephus, you're still chained to the deck though. Edgar, you're by the railing.
Yep, I hobble my way towards the now crack-jawed snake man that just fell.
Okay,
Get,
up there.
get the keys. Get the keys.
I get there.
You get there.
Well, okay, sure. I get there. I'll grab the keys and I will unchain myself.
All right, so you're searching for the keys.
I'm gonna search his body. I'm gonna grab the knife and like just kind of reach it up as I'm searching for the keys with my other hand for somebody else to take the knife.
Okay. This guy's on Devlin with his knife.
Do you want me to like
Actually-
or anything?
No. Actually, these 2 over here near Devlin, they both back away and they drop their knives. And one of them says, "Mercy, mercy!" And they put their hands up. And Devlin's like he's ready to take him. He actually reaches down and picks up one of the knives.
Okay.
And we're pretty much out of initiative right now.
All right.
Devlin's got, the knife kind of pointed at this guy, and he looks back, at you guys.
So,
They've got their hands up like this. Edgar, you find the key. You find the set of keys on the dead one there on the deck.
I'm gonna try the set of keys on my chains.
Okay. After a couple of keys, you find the right one and it works. You are now unshackled.
I hand the keys over to... Or I guess I'll unchain Eusephus as well.
Okay, perfect. I'll take my chains.
Jacob. I think Jacob's... Yeah, everyone's still hobbled, so I'll unhobble them as well.
Okay, you do.
Now, these sailors have regular hands, right?
Yeah, they seem to have regular hands.
Oh.
Yeah, my roll 20 is acting up here. Let me reload.
I don't think. I think we should toss these guys down to the damn rowers.
Or we see what kind of information we can.
Well, there's 2 more of these guys on the boat somewhere, man. At least.
You're right, but I don't necessarily think that... I think we still need to get some things from these people. For example, where do they keep their medical supplies? Look at us. We've been cut up.
I say we kill one of them to show them we're serious, and then we let the other one talk.
I glare pointedly at Eusephus.
All right. Stuart's like, on your knees. And they both get down on their knees. They've got their hands up.
I say, Eusephus, we're not like them.
Where's your other crewmates?
I know you may not understand, but we've had some history here. We probably ought to wax one of these guys.
Where's your crewmates?
Yep.
He says they're in quarters, captain's quarters, and he points down to the stern of the ship.
Well, let's shackle these guys, Edgar. If we're not gonna kill them, we gotta contain them somehow. Just having them out here like this is no good. I take my feet shackles and slap them on one of these guys' arms behind his back.
Yeah, and we take their keys and their knives and search
or we disarm them. Yeah.
And we'll also take like the loose chain on the ground and just wrap it around these guys tight. Eusephus will. Together, really sense these fuckers up.
As you guys are doing this, Devlin rips off one of the guy's turbans, and you guys are kind of shocked at what you see. These guys have sort of very round heads. They have very small eyes, very wide mouths, and they have curved horns coming up out of their top of their heads.
Oh.
And they have these tattoos, what appear to be tattoos, all on like the top of their bald heads, and they've got these very strange pointed ears. Definitely not human. Just everybody give me a sanity check just from
oh my god.
The reveal.
The reveal.
I just thought they had elongated heads.
Franklin, Devlin make theirs.
Eusephus made his.
Okay.
I rolled a 56, so I failed.
Roll a d6. All right. Jacob made his. Edgar, you lose 4 sanity points.
Okay.
As I said, they are just very outlandish looking, kind of alien looking dudes.
What in the hell are you fuckers?
So where are you chaining these guys to?
Well, first we're wrapping them together, and then if we can chain them to the spike that we've been chained to for like all day,
Yeah.
together, wrapped in the chain.
Yeah,
Like,
there's several rings set into the deck where they had you guys chained up.
Yeah, we can use our hobbles to like chain their hands as well, sort of like manacles.
yeah, I mean, no, that's where I started because there's something weird about their feet. But I take off one of their shoes to take a look at his feet.
They don't have feet.
That's what I thought.
They have cloven hooves.
Yeah, those aren't going to shackle well. Or will they?
Yeah, they will if you cinch them around hard enough.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Just like Jacob said.
well then, let's get their feet and their hands, and then we'll wrap them in chain and,
Okay.
get them on the deck.
Search them for the parties.
Well, they all have these nasty curved knives with
Arm
barbs.
ourselves.
With
We all
barbs.
arm ourselves, of course.
Sure.
Yep.
They all have a set of keys. They all have these strange. They all have these pouches, and they have these strange-looking metal coins, as well as several rubies
They call that.
of varying sizes.
Oh, fucking rubies again, eh?
Yes.
Rubies in Peru.
All told, you guys find 12 rubies on these 4 guys.
Put the pouches and the rubies up equally, so we all have a pouch and whatever, how many coins and how many ever.
Yusufus, I mean, I know we're not everybody's been the characters haven't, but I was like, we found rubies on. Well, actually, you would know them. What is your character's name, Lee? Joseph?
Jacob.
Jacob? Okay, Jacob. Yeah, I was like, you would know. Gordon Lockley held on to some rubies. I think this controls people. I'm not sure we want to hang on to these goddamn rubies.
Dr. Williamson had mentioned in one of his journals that you guys found that he believed that these rubies came from the caves of life, and he was actually searching for some of them. Apparently, he found some of them.
I don't know.
That ruby was a
Suspicious of them.
much larger ruby, though. These are kind of smaller. They're kind of roughly cut, but quite valuable nonetheless.
It's currency, man.
All right,
Yeah.
well, hang on to them, I guess. I'm just worried about them.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
coin.
I'm
The
not
coins
rubbing
use
them up.
kind of currency.
Well, let's go see if we can find the Colonel's journal, your rings, and more importantly, the key, fellers.
Well, we got to kill these other sailors.
Yeah, Devlin says there are 2 more. Says,
Yep.
I bet they're below decks somewhere.
Well, didn't the guy point towards the cabin?
Yeah. As I said, there are 2 sets of stairs that go down in the stern. One of them leads to the holding cells where you guys were, and one of them appears to lead down to some other cabins.
Well, hold up now. Before we just go meandering down there, maybe we could set up some sort of ambush. I mean, they gotta come up eventually, and I don't think they're privy to what we've been doing up here.
Yep, I reckon you're right. How about we threaten one of these dudes on the floor here to call up their compadres. When they come up, we snag them.
He says, those men, they probably sleeping down in Captain Cabin, down there. He said they won't give you no trouble.
All right. Well, how about this? How about we'll leave someone here with a knife who will cut your throats if we don't come back safe. Sleeping?
He says, yeah, I promise. They probably sleeping. Mm-hmm.
I kind
All
of
right, well,
look the party over now that they're just openly talking about straight up murder. But then I look back at the weird goat people. And I look back at the party. And I look at the weird goat people. Not sure what to think.
Well, you've been chained up
Yeah.
for a couple days and heard them murder somebody else, so
Yeah.
These are drastic. We're on a black
I
alley
think you're,
somewhere in a foreign.
Yeah.
I think you're probably past, like, you know, these are beings of redeemable quality. I mean, they're half
I mean,
starved.
they could. Well, no, they could be. I mean, who knows what's going on with them? They could be totally under the
Well, Trelane
sway or
and the Andrew Trelane guy told you guys that they were
they were
slaves.
slaves. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were slaves.
Well, see, that's what
Well,
I'm
maybe we'll have a
thinking
chance
about.
to talk to them once we
Yeah.
secure the boat.
Yeah. All right.
First.
Well, let's go
So-
find these other two sleepyheads. Who's going?
Off to the
Who's
cabin.
staying?
Who's got the best? Who's got the best sneaks? Who's
Sneak?
crafty sneakies?
Probably.
I do not have a good sneak. It's the base 10.
Same.
Devlin.
Hey, mine's 50.
Devlin's a sneaky mofo.
Alright, then you
Well,
two.
Devlin
go.
can sneak.
Oh yeah. So I guess me and him will go first.
Maybe you should
Alright.
have a third just in case.
You guys should definitely come in behind us for sure. Someone should stay on deck with these.
I suppose I'll do that.
All right. Well, then I'll trail these guys pretty far since I'm not stealthy.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll your sneak with a plus 20%. This is for Devlin. Ugh.
Well, the
Alright.
bleeding out makes you clumsy.
I guess.
Oh, I actually made mine.
Jesus Christ, that's an awesome roll.
If it was the plus 20 that saved me, it was like 1 point underneath.
All right. So as you guys are going below decks, there's sort of a hallway that goes to your left and to your right, and it's lined with doors on both sides. There's 2 doors to your left and 2 doors to your right. The doors are open, and as you guys decide, you know, which way you're going to go, left or right.
Did the guys? They didn't give us a direction down here, did they?
No, they didn't. Apparently, there are 4 cabins down here.
Well, that's why I was saying that we should just wait for them to come up. And then ambush them then, because we don't know the layout.
Well,
Go left.
all right. So
As you guys are kind of whispering, Stuart and Jacob are like, "What? You know, where do you think they are, or whatever?" There are some chains hanging near the base of the stairs, and Stuart kind of knocks into them, and the chains start rattling a little bit, and he's like, "Ah, shit!" But you don't see anything. There's no movement or anything. It's kind of dark down here. So you head off to the left. Both cabins are empty. You can see they do look lived in though.
on the
There's-
left. Okay.
Yeah, there are some chests. Looks like maybe some personal belongings of these guys. There are some additional weapons. There are a couple of swords, almost like sabers, sitting on one of the beds, as well as some additional clothing in these 2 rooms. But they are uninhabited.
Let's go to the
Excellent.
right, guys. We'll come search after we get.
Yep.
Okay.
While they're searching, I'm going to be pointedly asking about where we're going. Like at knife point. Where are we going?
All right. So Devlin and Jacob, you start kind of tiptoeing down the right hallway, and suddenly, out of the first doorway to the left, one of these men leaps out with a dagger at you. Give me a dodge for Jacob.
Not on the character sheet.
That's fine.
Okay.
Or you can just use the skill check macro. Just type dodge and roll. And we can check and see what you needed. And by the way, pretty handy, you can shift double click on your token to open your character sheet.
Made it.
Okay. Yeah, so he swipes at you with his dagger, misses, and you can go.
I return the favor and stab him with my dagger.
Okay. Go ahead.
I clean his nails. Oh, sorry. Here, hold on. There's something trapped under your thumbnail. What's going on?
All right, Devlin's gonna try to stab him.
Oh, yay, Devlin, go.
Shanked.
Wow, so it's gonna be.
I remove his splinter. He gets him in the liver.
Oh, Devlin stabs him right in the gut. All right, it's gonna be Jacob again.
How close am I? Because I'm down here with these guys.
Yeah, you guys are kind of coming down the stairs. You hear this ruckus down there. You hear this, kind of a shriek. Ah! As this guy jumps out of the darkness at these guys. So you'll get to go. Jacob, you get to go again.
Say,
Nice.
There
Nice.
you go.
and the stabbing is successful. All right, hold on.
Yes. Damage for you is going to be it's 1d4 plus 2 for the knife, so it's 2d4 plus 2 for Jacob.
2d4, you said?
2d4 plus 2. So what you can do is you can click on the d4 macro, and then where it says any modifiers, just put 2. Without the plus, just put 2.
Is anybody else having trouble hearing right now? Is that just me?
Voice or
I can hear fine.
Okay.
What are you
Yes.
having trouble hearing?
Now I can hear you fine, Alex.
Okay.
It was your dad and Lee.
all right. So this guy came leaping out of the doorway at you, Jacob, and he missed you, and he kind of moved past you, and then Devlin just kind of does an uppercut like right into his gut with his knife. He's like, oh! You see this blood spill out on the floor, and you just take your knife in both hands like this and just hit him right in the back with it, and just run him through. He's dead. And then there's just quiet. You hear dripping water coming from somewhere. And now the others have caught up to you guys.
The other
Okay.
one?
On to the next cabin.
Yusufus, I believe, is down there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you, the fifth. All right. Well, let's go to the other cabin on the. I guess you guys checked this thing out on the left. Let's look to the right.
All right. In the other cabin stands the last sailor. He's got his hands up. He says, I go peaceful. Don't hurt me.
A wise decision.
It's okay. You got me. You win.
There's something endearing about him.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to kill him.
I kill him anyways. No.
Yeah, they're the Rosanna Danas of the mythos creatures.
Yeah, well, you just shot a guy because maybe he saw you burn a car. Maybe. So.
I didn't shoot him. I just punched him in the face.
He says, you got me. It's okay.
No, you don't remember that? You shot Farnsworth's neighbor because maybe.
I didn't shoot him.
You didn't shoot him.
I
You
waited
sucker
till-
punched him.
Oh,
yeah,
is that
I waited
right?
till he got the morning post and just cold cocked him.
Yeah, didn't he come out and say, like, lovely day, isn't it? Or something like that? And he's just like, damn.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
By cold cock, I thought you meant like legit, like just. Just
Oh
shot
no,
him.
no, that's the cold cock is just like knock the guy out with one punch.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's coming, and you got him. So, I mean, it's a
Yep.
dirty punch. I'll say that. It's not like let's fight fair. It's like out of nowhere.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so I've just been under that assumption this entire game.
That's okay. We
All
sort
right.
it out.
So you've captured all of these men from Lang, as Andrew Trelane called them.
Yeah, while they're
Um,
down there stabbing one and imprisoning the other, do I get any useful information out of the other two that we have above deck?
What are you going to try to ask them?
Where we are going?
He says, the basalt pillars and beyond.
Why?
He says, we do work.
And what kind of work is that? And I kind of like take the knife closer to him.
He says, I cannot say.
Closer to like his eye.
I cannot say.
And why can't you say it?
He says, if we say, we're more than dead. We.
And who's gonna kill you? Because you look pretty dead to me. You saw those people down there. They don't mess around. Maybe if I can get this information from you, they won't have to start cutting things off to get it later.
Take one of his eyes. It'll show you mean business.
He looks you in the eye, Edgar, and he gives you that freaking grin, and he says, the man was right when he warned you about that which may damn you all.
I kind of
You all be damned, he says.
damned like you are.
And he kind of averts his gaze to the deck.
Well, they're gonna
By the
get
way,
answers.
By the
one
way,
or
this whole
another.
time, these rowers are still just rowing like crazy. The ship is just flying through the ocean right now.
Well,
It's been nonstop rowing this whole time.
one way or another, they're gonna get answers. I tried to get them nice like from you, but
Why don't you threaten to feed one of them to the rowers? See how that loosens their tongue.
Now, these rowers down there, where exactly are they taking us? Like, okay, no, I already asked that. What exactly are they? That's what I meant to ask.
This is a good cross-examination. You ask him the same question twice, you might get the answer. It's good. That's good cross-examination technique.
He won't say anything.
Is there a way to turn this ship around? Now,
He says, "You want to drive? You want to steer the ship? You try."
if you're not steering, then who is?
He says the ship is driven by the demon winds.
So there's no steering this ship except to the hell pillars we're headed towards.
So you just accept where the demon winds take you and you leave it at that.
He says we have no choice.
Couldn't you just get off the ship?
He says no. He says, "You very curious man, but I tell you, we are all doomed. There is nothing you can do."
So, whatever you planned on doing to us over at your pillars was going to happen to you? That's what it sounds like you're telling me.
Something like that.
How can you live like this?
He doesn't say anything.
And that's the end of my nice guy interrogation.
Okay.
So when we search below decks, these cabins,
Yes.
there's stuff.
Yeah. There's stuff. You find more clothing similar to the type of garb that they wear, very kind of silky and sort of Persian looking.
Sure, I'll equip myself with some of that.
Yeah, very fine clothing. So yeah, now Jacob all of a sudden looks like Sinbad the Sailor.
Oh yeah.
There are several saber-like swords, as well as some more of those kind of nasty-looking daggers. Did we just lose somebody?
Still here.
And you also find your belongings. Jacob's wedding ring, Percy's journal, and the golden medallion
Oh, good.
stashed
So
away
now
in
that-
one of the chests.
Have these items back, man. I'm thinking out loud to the party. I'm like, it may be very significant that these things came through with us. These sentimental items. These are that's significant in some way. I'm not sure how yet, but
They seem to be your only connection to the waking world at this point.
maybe if we were to concentrate on the objects, I'm not sure.
So you're gonna lock these guys up? Other than the swords and the clothes, they do have a store of dried meats and kind of strange food stuffs, more fungus stuff that you've been given. As well as a ruby decanter that you first encountered on the beach near the Caves of Life. They have this very nice, it's almost 2 feet long, carved from a single ruby that contains this dark, sweet-smelling liquid. So
You guys
you
say
also,
did that have healing properties?
not that you know of.
It put us all
Um,
to sleep.
Yeah, when Yusufus and the others drank it, it got you drunk as shit. Or drugged. It was more of a drugged kind of feeling, but it definitely gets you high. Strong stuff. But these guys, these men from Lang seem to be just kind of drinking it, like normal.
How big is the decanter?
It's about 2 feet high, and it holds a good 3 or 4 liters of liquid. Seems to be carved from a single ruby.
Wow, that's a cool
Back in the
decanter.
world, it would probably be priceless.
I'll just drink a small bit of this,
Okay.
or I'll just pour a little bit.
You missed the beach party, Jacob.
So it's a very sweet, kind of spicy liquid. And Jacob, you enjoy it immensely for about 10 minutes until you begin to feel very tired and a stupor kind of sets in. And you just kind of wind up not really being able to walk or do anything. You just kind of slump over in one of the bunks
That's
and just
from a little
pass
bit.
out.
Only
that's
a
just-
little,
that's-
little bit.
That's just from a little bit.
Okay, there we go.
But like I said, you enjoy it immensely for about 10 minutes.
These
While he's out, I tell Doc Franklin to see if you can do something for Jacob. I mean, he's pretty winged up. I mean, actually, Doc, if you could take a look at everybody and see if there's anything
Yeah.
you can do, that would probably be a great
Oh
idea.
yeah, are there medical supplies down here? Anything at
Yeah.
all? Needles, twine, anything?
Yeah, Doc Franklin searches around and he finds some suitable stuff to do some doctoring on you guys, and he does. So a little more time's going to have to pass before you see results of that. But Franklin patches all you guys up from your nicks and bruises and cuts and gut shots or whatever you got. One of you, I assume, at one point will go check out the hell is that thing called where the steering wheel of the ship is? The helm?
The helm, yeah.
Yeah, when you guys check out the helm, no amount of fighting with that wheel does anything. It's
I'm
just
assuming that it's me that's like wrestling with it because I'm still on the
Sure.
deck while they're doing this.
it will not budge. The ship is just sailing due west.
Do the sails on the ship have any particular markings? Do they look like there's
No.
any like? Okay.
No, they're
Then-
pitch black. They appear to be made out of some kind of thick silk-like material. And of course, the rowers are just going full steam. Still, days later. It's like we're
Is there-
approaching the third day.
Is there food,
Yes.
like, on the boat, like some of these fishes these guys caught? Because I don't think we should not feed the rowers.
There is.
I
There's
agree.
there's fish and like some smoked meat, the strange meat that was given to you guys, as well as these fungus cakes covered with this syrupy stuff, and plenty of barrels of water.
I disagree entirely. I think we should just let the rowers die. I mean, it's not natural. It's very unnatural that they can row for 24 hours a day, every day, at that impossible pace. And I don't think we want to be sticking our heads down in there to make sure that they're human.
Oh, I don't think we stick our heads down there at all. I think we just do exactly what these guys did. I mean, whatever's down there, we don't want it getting hungry to come up to the deck. That would be bad.
Maybe, I guess, but if it could come
I'm
up to
gonna
the
go ahead
deck,
and feed
wouldn't
them.
it have?
Not if they're fed.
I will
mean,
remind you that
that's-
one of the men told you guys when you were on the beach, or maybe it was when you were on the ship. One of them said something like, "Yes, the rowers would not be very pleasant to your eyes," he said mockingly.
Right, they did. Yes, he said that when I was yelling out in the cell.
Yeah.
Well, I don't wanna look at
So
them.
I don't think they're human. I don't think
They're
they're
not.
human at all.
Well, they're probably like these guys from Ling.
That or well, I don't know, man. I mean, personally, I don't know what Edgar thinks of that, but it seems to me like it could be another one of those hell plants, right? Because it's impossible for this many rows to constantly be going at all times. Right? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems impossible. Yes.
Uh,
Any normal. I mean, it's not like you guys are all, been at sea. You're not like seamen or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's been almost, going on the third day now, and the rowers have not stopped one bit, and it's just the ship is just cruising.
I think Edgar most likely thinks that the rowers are more akin to whatever's controlling the helm of the ship. It's just some force, because I don't think he believes that there's something
Well,
natural
it's-
down there.
He thinks there's like maybe some spectral rowers down there or something.
Yeah, like a ghost ship.
Yeah.
They ate something.
Spooky.
I'm afraid there's something even more horrific than we've seen yet. The question is, do you go ahead and throw the food down there, which
Well, let's
probably,
just ask, the guys from Ling. I asked the guys that we have tied up on deck. I was like, what happens if we don't feed the rowers?
They won't answer you.
I kick one of them hard.
Ugh.
What happens if we don't feed the rowers? Because I'm gonna pick you up and throw you down there.
His eyes get real wide. He says, "No, you don't need to do that. No, please.
Do we need to feed the rowers?
If you wish," he says.
All right, doesn't sound like it's necessary, so we'll leave it alone.
Edgar walks over, is like,
I'll lean over to him and I'll be like, if you're lying to us, or if you're not telling us the truth, this shit, you're going in there feet first, man. I'm gonna hold you in there feet first.
He says, no, no, please don't.
So they don't need to be fed. Is that what you're telling me? Or they do?
No.
I love these guys. They're just so indifferent.
No, they don't need to be fed.
No. But they be okay.
Okay.
You no, we don't want to do nothing like that. Uh, they be okay.
Then why do you feed them?
Good question.
Say, we like to be nice.
Yeah, right there. I'm like, this guy's lying. Okay, so this guy's lying. Everybody knows he's lying. I'm like, so we have a couple choices. First of all, we should feed these things.
No, you don't need
That's
to
established.
do that. You don't need to.
I think
It's
the
okay.
first thing we should feed him is this guy right here.
No,
I start dragging him towards the hole.
no, you start screaming. No, you no, don't do this.
Do we need to feed him? Yes or no?
No, you don't.
All right.
All
You
right.
especially don't need to feed me to them. No.
What if we?
Eusephus, I think he's answered.
You say they don't like the taste of me. No how.
All right, but he doesn't want to be fed himself, so we don't need to feed him any other food. Are you sure?
They probably don't like the taste of you neither. So it's okay.
I love how
He's-
indifferent these guys are. It's like,
Yeah.
nah. I mean, oh, you're gonna feed me to him? Please don't. That wouldn't be very nice.
All right. Well, this
Let's,
makes for the latch and the tarp's on tight.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit here.
Okay.
The ship steers its own course, driven by demon winds and currents, and no amount of fighting with the steering deters it from its course. At this point, land is never sighted for the entire trip. The ship sails due west and remains on course for many uneventful days. Let's go ahead and do some healing checks here.
Ooh.
When I say many eventful days, uneventful days, we're talking, 5 days. You guys are at sea, and it's just the row. They're just rowing, man. So let me see here. Who needs healing? Just about everybody, it looks like.
Everybody needs a little healing.
All right, so I'll roll for everybody here.
Hey, doctor, make medicine.
Yes, you guys are getting 1d3 for just your regular healing for a week, and then plus another d3 because of Dr. Franklin. I'm not going to bother rolling for him. He's got like a 70% medicine, so he's good.
Oh wow.
So for Jacob, Jacob heals 4
Nice.
points. Eusephus. Heals
Ooh.
6.
Ooh la la. I'm feeling good.
It's too bad Jacob didn't heal 6. He's the one who's got shot. But it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. You nice
Okay.
man.
Franklin
Please don't throw me to the monsters.
heals 4.
That would be very unpleasant.
And Devlin heals 3.
Alright.
And Edgar
I'll heal.
heals 4.
Hey, that puts me at max.
All right.
Eventually, 2 dark points appear on the western horizon one evening. And as the ship draws nearer, the points resolve. Let me bring it up here. points resolve into colossal stone pillars that rise from the sea and vanish into the clouds, and rise to still more unguessable heights. The closer the ship draws to the pillars, the more quickly it moves, as if some force were pulling it towards the columns. A low sound becomes audible, slowly growing to a thunderous roar, and the white mist fills the air between the pillars. As the ship reaches the pillars, here I can give you guys a little bit of a visual here too.
Ooh.
Normally I don't like to do this, but I found a pretty neat picture. It's pretty similar to what you guys probably see. As the ship reaches the pillars, mist drenches the deck and obscures everything from sight. The roar is deafening, and a sudden, fierce current grips the ship and hurls it forward between the pillars. Suddenly, the world drops away, and the ship plunges over the edge of the monstrous cataract where the waters of the dream world pour out into interplanetary space.
Oh, wow. Is it cold?
As the
Our heads popping.
As the world falls away and the ship shoots comet-like into the void, everyone loses some sanity. Give me a sanity check.
Yeah, that's some nutso stuff right there. What the heck are we gonna do? We're in space. We're astronauts.
Now I feel like we should feed the rowers.
Sorry to
Maybe.
break the immersion, but we need some sanity checks here. All right, Eusephus, you lose 1.
Haha.
Jacob loses 1.
I made it.
If you made it, you lose 1.
Okay.
That time, Sean.
Weird stuff.
Franklin loses a couple.
So there
Can
was
you hear me, Sean?
Yeah, I can hear. Sorry, I'm just doing some bookkeeping here. Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Everybody here? Roll call.
Yep.
After the black galley drops from the precipice, the ship slowly changes course, aiming for the crescent moon in the distance. As it rose through the ether, you all notice to the starboard side of the ship a horrible larval monster becoming visible in the distance. It writhes its blind way towards the ship. Its semi-visible body squirms and claws like some nebulous earthworm, and you see the starlight surrounding it distorts and reforms into blurred streaks of light.
I think I know why we were chained to the top deck. This thing was coming to eat us.
Got something right from Lovecraft for you here. What shapeless black things lurk and caper and flounder all through the ether, leering and grinning at such voyagers as may pass, sometimes feeling about with slimy paws when some moving object excites their curiosity.
all right.
This thing is big as a truck, and it has what apparently sticking out of the front of its body. It's kind of a more or less an earthworm-shaped thing. It's got what appears to be flexible claws and spines. Everybody give me another sanity check.
Oh boy.
So much sanity.
Holy cow, I
God.
can mentally compartmentalize all of this.
Edgar makes it. Jacob
Ooh,
makes it.
And by
I made
mentally
it.
compartmentalize, I mean immediately forget it.
Everybody lose 1.
Immediately I turn to see if the helm is still steering itself.
It is. It seems to be veering the ship towards the crescent moon.
How
Ahead.
far away is this thing, time-wise?
Very close.
Is it
Very,
closer than
I
the
go
very,
below. I go below
very
deck.
close.
Yeah.
I go
Okay.
below deck, man.
Just as the creature nears the ship, a flash of light bursts before it, and it twists away as if in pain. And quite suddenly, within moments, you don't see it anymore.
I turn to the men of Lang. What was that? What in God's name was that?
He says, things.
Well, if you don't want to be sitting up here, you best be explaining yourself. Will this ship hold against those?
Horrible, horrible things, he says.
Will this ship hold against them?
He says it is gone now.
Will it come back? Have you done this before?
Maybe. He says, we will reach the moon soon. It will be okay, he says.
I slap him.
And I think to myself,
No,
he's
it won't.
coming around. This is working out.
Is this ship gonna hold against those creatures, and will there be more of them?
Don't worry, we will be okay.
I slap him again. Are there more? And will the ship hold against them?
Maybe, probably not.
And I turn to Eusephus. My eyes are kind of wide. What are we gonna do? We can't just. Oh God.
Well,
Well,
we
it
figure
appears.
to be
It appears
safe.
like
We're
yeah.
safe for now. So
The flash of light was definitely intentional.
I do think you would have slapped it out of him if you had something else to tell us.
Is there any kind of, are there torches on this ship, man, or is there oil for the lanterns?
Yes.
Really?
It's all very medieval. Very
Oh.
medieval.
Get a couple different containers filled with oil and some, basically make some Molotov cocktails, man.
Sweet. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know how many we can equip, but I
There's-
can, and
There are just barrels of oil, and you find a whole bunch of glass jars and bottles.
really,
Oh yeah.
I equip.
Nice. Yeah, I'll
Boxes of them.
I'll get a couple of those myself.
I mean,
I mean,
do I
can
have
we-
like a crate? If there's a couple crates, man. I mean,
I'm gonna
Can
grab.
we-
I guess I'll go below deck and just start stockpiling some stuff. You know, those sabers, for example. Whatever, spare knives. Are there
Okay.
any ranged weapons of any kind at all?
No.
No bows or
Nope.
piratey flintlock pistols?
Do we find any other
No,
clothes to wear besides besides the the white
Yes.
arch smocks we had on?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jacob found some of them. Jacob
Oh, yeah.
looks like Sinbad the Sailor right now. He's got the freaking turban and everything going on.
Oh, okay, I think everybody's voice faded out at that moment.
Are there any?
For me.
Are there
I
any?
should get dressed in native. We should all get dressed because when we dock, the only chance we'll have is to appear like these freaks, slay whoever meets us at the.
All right, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
get
I'll-
full.
We all need to change into this clothing for
Yeah.
if no other reason we look like.
Yeah.
Very well.
Are there any iron bars or anything? Is there any long, sturdy poles that I can use to fashion a spear out of daggers?
Yeah, you actually find several spare oars stowed above deck
Oh, good. I can use those as like a.
that you
Yeah, I
that you
can-
could probably fashion into some sort of spear. Yeah.
Right. Just to keep as much distance from myself as the. Whatever we're gonna see. So, after
So-
I prepare all of this crap, I'm gonna go back above deck.
Okay.
Oh, foodstuffs as well. I'll gather
Okay.
more foodstuffs into bags and sacks and stuff for us. I'm gonna go back up to the Men of Lang. Say, with one of those daggers. How many of those are there, by the way?
Daggers?
On board, yeah.
A dozen.
Oh, cool.
I'll equip 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Me too.
I'll guess I'll fashion like 2 or 3 of them into some form of spear that we can use. Again, it's good to keep your distance from things.
What's the biggest the oil? You said that it was in barrels. What is it, like a 50-gallon barrel or a 25-gallon barrel, something?
Yeah,
is
like
it?
40, 50-gallon barrels. Several
Wow.
of them.
Oh, dude, you know what we should do is find the galley where we're gonna dock and like just have a barrel prepared to like roll down and like light it on fire.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
hide on the barrels, or maybe we should hide the people and ourselves in these barrels, and then wait and see what happens. I don't know what we're gonna be met with. We could be met with an army of these weird creatures, or
So you're
more
saying-
worm monsters.
Let's
You have no idea.
Let's soak these guys who are gonna be corpses into the barrels.
Yes.
We launch them into there. Yeah, well,
I do. I don't think it's a bad idea to have a couple barrels on deck
Barrel
I-
bombs.
yeah, I
and a
agree.
couple flame and a couple flame sources, and if we can, rig the barrels up to have like a basically some type of fuse
Yeah.
and a big rag sticking out of them, and some torches. Man, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Can
If no other
donkey
reason,
kong 'em.
if no other reason to commit Harry Carey and sink this ship, and
Yeah, you're right.
if the worst comes to worst, who knows? Maybe they'll accept us and we can be pirates and we'll sell these people as slaves. They'll say, look, no, we're the people now who are getting your slaves for you.
We're
Here they are.
taking your positions as fishermen.
these guys were funny.
Yeah, these are the phonies. I
But if that
look to
doesn't
the Men
work,
of Lang, and I point one of the daggers at him,
Okay.
and I say, "Now, you be honest with me, all right? You're being honest with me, right? This whole time, we've been friends. I had to push the other guy overboard. You know that.
Yeah.
It was an us or them situation. So you be honest with me. And we're gonna
Okay.
be real friendly. What are we gonna find when we get to that moon?
You don't want to know.
Oh, I
My-
want to
my
know.
friend.
I really want to know.
We are all doomed.
I want to know bad enough that I might just let Yusufus drag you over back to that there hatch.
No!
Oh, thank God. I
Don't
started
do
dragging
that.
them.
No, don't do that. Why?
Because we
What-
got
what-
because we got to know. We ain't from around here. Now we've been friendly, except for maybe Yusufus, but that's acceptable. He's not a friendly type. I am. So you can talk to me. What will we find when we dock on that moon?
He averts his eyes away from you.
Is it going to be more of those worms?
He won't speak.
Will it be more of you? Is this where your big
What's the-
city is?
What was the name of the wizard, the sorcerer?
Aldon.
Trelane told you his name was Aundor.
Hallandor.
Or yeah, so I that name. I'm like,
He looks at you,
that's right,
and then he looks away.
that bitch.
I mean,
He says, "You are doomed. There is nothing you can do. Please do not feed me to them. It will accomplish nothing, you see.
You gotta tell me then. What are we gonna find? You gotta.
You don't want to know. I am telling you. You do not want to know.
Oh, I want
It
to
was-
know. I need to know.
When we went through,
He looks up at the crescent moon and he says, "You will know soon enough."
No, we're gonna know right now. Or I swear to God, I'll let Eustace have his way.
I mean, I honestly really would like to drop one of these guys down to the rowers just for the gore factor of it, but I bet he's not gonna tell us shit. He would have already.
He's too terrified of what other evil master, whatever horror awaits us. I'll take a look at my my ring.
Yeah. Your wedding ring.
Yeah, and I'll concentrate on it for a moment. Try to think about the corporal world.
Or actually, it wasn't a wedding ring. It was a ring of your father's, wasn't
Oh,
it?
that's right. Yeah, it was my dad's ring. Yeah.
Some good feelings and good memories of your childhood come back to you.
Do you remember how you got the ring from your father?
But those memories seem so long ago and so far away. As you look away from the ring and look up at the moon that is coming ever closer.
And we didn't find anything
No.
else in our search of the boat.
No.
So I get the crates of Molotovs out on the deck and the barrels and make sure we have a couple torches and lanterns up there.
All right.
Alright then, mister. You won't tell me what we're gonna find on that moon. So I will ask you one question. And if you do not answer, or you say you don't want to know, or whatever, if you don't give me a straight answer, you're gonna go down to the hatch.
No! Don't do that.
And it's an easy question. Are there more of you and your kind on the moon that we are going to? Yes or no?
His eyes get kind of wide, like this. And you realize he seems to be looking past you, Edgar. You turn and look. The edge of your vision, out in space among the stars, you see dark, malevolent shapes sort of briefly forming out there. And he says, they are coming. Look out!
Should we get below deck?
He says, he will protect us. He protects the traveler's life. He will ward them.
Well, that's good for you then, because we're going down into the deck. Because you were not particularly friendly, and you did not answer my questions, we are leaving you up here. And I go below deck.
Okay.
Definitely avert my eyes. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
You notice these brief flashes or bursts of light again. A little more distant this time. And they seem to ward or dispel whatever these moving shapes are out there, and you don't see them anymore. The moon is a gigantic crescent now. It's shining larger and larger as you approach. And now you can see it's like singular craters and peaks. You can see them very uncomfortably. The ship makes for the edge, and it soon becomes clear that its destination is the secret and mysterious side, which is always turned away from the earth, and which no fully human person has ever beheld.
Oh, so this is actually something like our moon.
Yes.
Well, that's weird.
The close aspect of the moon, as the galley draws near, proves very disturbing to all of you. and you do not like the size and shape of the ruins which lie crumbled below here and there. You see dead temples on mountains, and they're so placed that they could have glorified no wholesome or suitable gods. And in the symmetries of the broken columns, there seems to lurk some dark and inner meaning. What the structure and proportions of the olden worshippers could have been, you refuse to conjecture. When the ship rounds the edge of the moon and sails over those lands unseen by man, there appears in the queer landscape certain signs of life.
Oh, there's life up here?
You see many low, broad, round cottages in fields of grotesque whitish fungus.
Oh.
You notice that these cottages have no windows and think that their shape suggests the huts of Eskimos. When you glimpse the oily waves of a sluggish, then you glimpse the oily waves of a sluggish sea and know that the voyage is once more to be by water, or at least through some liquid. The galley strikes the surface with a peculiar sucking sound, and the odd elastic way the waves receives the boat is very perplexing.
So, hold up. Are we above the moon right now? Are we floating above it?
You just landed on the dark side of the moon,
Okay.
and this... Just pay attention, I'm narrating here. Again, you glimpse the oily waves of a sluggish sea, and know that the voyage is once again by water, or at least through some liquid. Certainly doesn't look like water. And as the galley strikes the surface, you hear this peculiar sucking sound, and notice sort of an odd, elastic way the waves receive the boat. It's very perplexing. Now, you are sliding along at great speed, and almost very quickly, and you almost don't notice it, but you pass another galley of kindred form.
Oh.
But generally, you see nothing but the curious sea and a sky that is black and star-strewn, even though the sun shines scorchingly in it. So if you can imagine that. The sun is shining in the sky, but the sky is black.
It's like a
and
sun
star-strewn.
shower.
Yeah.
Contradiction.
Rising ahead, you see the jagged hills of a leprous-looking coast and the thick, unpleasant gray towers of a city. The way the towers lean and bend, the manner in which they are clustered, and the fact that they have no windows at all is very disturbing. Some of you bitterly mourn the folly which had made you sip the curious wine of those strange merchants with the humped turbans. As the coast draws nearer, and the hideous stench of that city grows stronger, you see upon the jagged hills many forests of white fungus filled with other strange and unwholesome trees. The ship glides through the horrible sea and pulls up beside several other black ships at a black scabrous wharf in a port which looks like it came right out of a nightmare. Here's where it gets weird.
Oh.
You distinguish moving figures on the noisome wharfs ahead, and the better you see them, the worse you begin to fear and detest them, for they are not men at all, or even approximately men, but great, grayish white slippery things which can expand and contract at will, and whose principal shape, though it often changes, is that of a sort of toad without any eyes, but with a curiously vibrating mass of short pink tentacles on the end of its blunt, vague snout. These creatures seem to be waddling busily about the wharves, moving bales and crates and boxes with preternatural strength.
So sort of like a mole, right? Like a star-nosed mole. They're kind of eyeless, white,
Yes.
writhing. Okay.
Yep.
Weird.
Grayish white toad things
Okay.
With no eyes.
with no eyes. Now and then you see one hopping on or off some anchored galley with long oars in their forepaws. And now and then one appears to be driving a herd of clumping slaves, which indeed are approximate human beings with wide mouths like those men you met on the beach. Only these herds, being without turbans or shoes or clothing, do not seem so very human after all. Some of these slaves, the fatter ones, whom a sort of overseer pinches experimentally, are unloaded from ships and nailed into crates, which workers push into low warehouses or loaded on great lumbering carts.
They just load these people into crates and ship them off.
You see a cart being hitched up to some horrific alien creature. It appears to be a gigantic earthworm that possesses thousands of chitinous legs and claws. All of you gasp, even after having seen the other monstrosities of this hateful place. And now and then, a small herd of slaves, dressed and turbaned like the wide-mouthed men, are driven aboard a galley, followed by a great crew of the slippery gray toad things. And you realize that the almost human creatures are reserved for the more common kinds of servitude, which require no strength, such as steering, cooking, fetching, and carrying. But most of them, unless lean or ill-favored, are unclothed and packed in crates and drawn off in lumbering carts by horrific worm things. Occasionally, other beings are unloaded and crated, some very like these semi-humans, some not so similar, and some not similar at all. Everybody make a sanity check.
It's the dark side of the moon, Romans.
This is an important one, fellas.
Good thing I failed it.
I failed it too.
Oh my god, we all failed it.
That was a great exclamation, Alex. Oh my god! We all failed it!
Game over,
Yeah.
man.
Game over, babe. Why didn't you put her in charge? Anyways.
Oh, you guys failed it? Alright, let me roll for Devlin.
Roll a D100 for how much sanity we lost. Lose.
Devlin failed it.
Oh, shit.
Ah, good old Dr. Franklin.
Yeah, good old Dr. Franklin has 40...
Don't say 9. Don't say 9. Don't say 9. Don't say 9.
Hold on, let me look at his token. It's on his token. Has 40. Franklin failed it too.
Classic.
Here we go. So Edgar, roll a d20.
Oh, Jesus!
I told you it was a nightmare. Edgar loses 9 sanity points.
Whew.
Kyle, roll for Eusephus, d20.
Oh, God.
Whoa!
Yay!
You lucky bastard.
Oh, man.
Yes.
All right,
Awesome.
Lee, roll for Jacob, d20.
Oh, boy.
You lucky bastard.
Jacob
Oh.
loses 11.
Whew, man. This is bad. This is real bad.
Devlin loses 4. He makes the cut. If you lose 5 or more, it'd be bad. And Franklin, poor Dr. Franklin.
Dr. Franklin's gonna launch himself off the side of the boat. Ah!
and then wake up again.
I want to die. How come I can't just die?
So Edgar, make an idea check. Ideally, you want to fail.
Idea check. Well,
Yeah. I'm just gonna roll for these guys.
I don't think it's quite possible
Ooh.
that there's a gigantic worm.
Hey, you failed. That's good. Whoa.
So one more time, how big is this worm?
It's gigantic. It's like bigger than an elephant.
And it's just kind of
make
above the whole city?
yeah, make an idea roll for Jacob. No, they're not that big. The city is gigantic, Alex.
Okay.
All right. All right, Jacob made his idea roll, so he fully comprehends what he sees.
Man, it's like
No.
docking on Kashyyyk or something. Just aliens everywhere.
It's like Kashyyyk, but just bad for the sanity.
Jacob and Lee, you should be somewhat agreeable to this, but I think I just had an idea on how this is going to go down. You see this, and I described it to you guys, okay? It is literally something out of like somebody's worst nightmare. Jacob, you behold this, and you guys are watching it for about 30 seconds, seeing this activity on these wharfs. You see this city of gray stone, of these weird buildings. Most of them are kind of rectangular buildings, but none of them have any windows, and some of them kind of jut up at weird angles, and it's a huge city before you. But looking at this activity on the wharfs and these just strange, horrifying creatures, Jacob, your mind just kind of temporarily just shuts down and snaps. You look next to you, and you see who you thought was, Eusephus and Dr. Franklin, but you see these men standing near you, and you see them as you would see men of Lang standing there. Your friends are gone, and you see these merchants or sailors or whatever you want to call them standing there next to you.
Were we indeed men of Lang all along?
What?
Were we indeed men of Lang all along?
Wonders Jacob. Now, so soon after landing upon this greasy-looking quay of spongy rock, this nightmare horde of toad things begin wiggling up out of the hatches of your ship.
Oh.
Perhaps dozens of them. And they seize you, squeezing and striking you with slimy paws. They grab you, and they begin moving you off of the boat and beyond the docks and into this dark alien city.
Should have fed them.
The first thing that really kind of strikes you as you're being pulled and dragged away from these docks is the smell. Just the smell and aspect of this place is really beyond telling. And actually, a lot of these words, just as a side, these are Lovecraft's words, okay? I'm just going to kind of read them as he would have written them. The smell and aspect of this place is beyond telling, and you hold only scattered images of the tiled streets and black doorways and endless precipices of gray vertical walls without windows. At length you are dragged within a low doorway and made to climb infinite steps in pitch blackness. It is apparently all one to the toad things, whether it were light or dark. The odor of the place is intolerable, and when you are locked into a chamber and left alone, you scarcely have strength to crawl around and ascertain its form and dimensions. It is circular and about 20 feet across. Time ceases to exist. Hours or days pass. At intervals, Food is pushed into your cells, but the food is foul and rotten and seems to partially consist of what appears to be living insect larvae. After an unguessed span of hours or days, the great stone door to your cell swings open, and you are shoved down the stairs and out into the red-litten streets of the fearsome city of the moon beasts. It is night, and all through the town are stationed slaves bearing torches. Now, this is days, maybe even weeks later, okay?
Yusufus has like a big old beard,
Exactly.
and Jacob's mustache is all frazzled.
In a detestable square, a sort of procession is formed, and 10 of the toad things and 24 almost human torchbearers, 11 on either side, and 1 each before and behind you. You are placed in the middle of the line, and you all notice each other, sort of in the din of all of these strange, crazy creatures and shit that's going on here. There are 5 toad things ahead of each of you, and 5 behind, and 1 almost human torchbearer on each side of you. And you can see now that these almost human guys, like the sailors that you guys have been sailing around with, are completely naked. And they look like goat men, basically. I'm sure you can imagine.
Yes.
Certain of the toad things produces disgustingly carven flutes of ivory and begin making loathsome sounds. Hold on, let me stop this.
Was it just us up here?
Apparently so. The
It's
5
not
is
good. It's not good. It's not good.
Hang on a second. To that hellish piping, the column advances out of the tiled streets and into nighted plains of obscene fungus, soon commencing to climb one of the lower and more gradual hills that lay behind the city. The whining of those impious flutes is shocking, and you would give anything for some even half-normal sound. But these toad things have no voices, and the slaves do not talk. The procession slows as it nears the lip of a gigantic crater, and it is clearly too steep to climb and towers at least a mile overhead. The procession unerringly finds its way to a small cave leading through the side of the crater rim and travels for some time through the cave's utter darkness. The toad things seem to navigate perfectly well in the dark. You stumble a few times, but the things grip you firmly with their powerful paws and lift you back up again. Eventually, the procession emerges into light, now inside the crater. Before you have a chance to do more than blink in the light and look around, the toad things and their pack beasts retreat back to the cave, and with a dull rumble, you see that they have collapsed and sealed the exit with heaps of gigantic boulders. As you collect your senses, you can see that you stand inside a huge, flat, circular plain, surrounded by stupendously deep, unclimbable crags. Steep, unclimbable crags. Once your vision adjusts to the dim light, you're amazed by what lies before you on the lunar flats. A green-veined marble replica of ancient Bendal Dolum.
Oh, wow.
The lunar Bendal Dolum rises directly from the dust rather than from stagnant, bottomless pools, and the gate to the pyramid complex is closed. The stone face leers out at you.
The key.
Yeah, do we still have our possessions?
No.
Well,
I don't have the key.
No.
Damn.
darn,
Don't
you
have my
didn't think
fancy bed clothes.
you didn't think to swallow it.
Sorry, guys, I'm railroading you a bit for the sake of the story here.
Hold
Oh
on for a
no,
second.
there was nothing that we could have done there though. So, I mean, we could have tried to escape, but what would that have done except get
So-
us killed by
So,
these
so it's after
unsuspicious
midnight. Let us
creatures?
continue. Let us continue because I want to get to a certain point here before we end.
Okay.
So you find yourselves in front of an exact replica of the Bendal Dolum that you guys found in the Central American jungle. It's fashioned from the same green-veined marble, and the structure appears to be in perfect condition, but there's no sign of habitation.
Oh,
So since there's really nowhere else to go, you guys decide to just enter and sort of explore this Bendal Dolum.
Well, just for the
Um,
sake of it, I would like to kind of peer over the edge. Is it just pitch blackness? Is it even remotely jumpable?
Well, you have to understand, like, the Bendal Dolum that you find in the jungle sat upon this sort of stagnant lake, right?
Yes.
This just kind of comes up out of the dust.
Right.
There are no pits or anything like that. It's just built above this lunar ground.
Is it Earth-like gravity?
Yes.
Okay, so we in the like the sheer crag that's surrounding this circular outcropping. We can't like jump it. We can't.
You're standing in a gigantic crater. Okay, that you can see the curve of it goes
Oh,
for
we're
miles.
down.
Yeah, the curve of it goes for like miles to either side
Okay.
of you.
Okay.
And the precipice is just, it's like a mile up ahead, up above you.
Okay. I thought
All
we
right.
were like I thought it was like it was a pit, like a sheer carved pit in around us. But no, we're in a crater. Okay. That's
Yes.
what I was confused about. Okay. And it's not climbable in any way whatsoever, not without like hooks and stuff.
It doesn't really appear to be, no.
Okay. Well,
Um,
then yeah, I
so
guess trudge onwards.
so you begin to wander throughout the complex. You're familiar with the layout. It's the same exact layout. Um, and you discover everything's identical to Earth's Bendal Dolum.
Wow.
Except of course that there aren't any corpses lying around.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, is Williamson still there? Oh,
No.
how about the heavy chain with the chest with all the good shit in it? Is that there?
Yes.
Oh fuck yes. Okay, what was in that trunk again?
In the trunk was a bunch of ammunition, 30-06 ammunition, a bunch of 45 ammunition,
A bottle of
uh,
rum. I remember that.
some blankets, a bottle of rum. Yeah, I mean nothing really too useful as far as like weapons or anything like that.
A bottle
I
of
take
rum
it.
makes for
I
a
take.
wonderful
I take a
weapon.
drink.
Yeah, yeah, take a drink. That's probably the best thing to do right now.
Oh wait, so there is actual ammunition and stuff still in that chest?
Yes.
Holy cow!
There was 45 ammo and the what is it
I'll tell you. Okay, so there's 30-06 ammo, 45 ammo, blankets, a small leather bag containing Williamson's wallet, a bottle of inferior rum. Sorry, Lee. A
Ooh.
flare, a flare gun, 5 flares. That could be useful.
Yeah.
And a bundle containing some tools: a hacksaw, a hammer, a chisel, and a small burlap bag containing a stone dog's head, apparently sawn off a statue.
This is the first time that Edgar's seen any of this stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Who's got the best pistol skill? They should get the flare gun.
Pistol skill.
It is pistol skill, yeah. Pistol skill will work for a flare gun.
I certainly do not.
Handguns, I have a 62.
The flare gun's a very effective weapon too, especially at close range.
Especially against fungus
a-
people.
Ooh, you should have it. You got a 70.
All right, so Jacob takes the flare gun.
I'll slap around in there, man, and equip it.
Yeah, there are
so I
also
can fire
5.
if I need to.
There are 5 flares.
So Edgar's gonna be like looking at these walls and the carvings and stuff of the weird snake tree creatures.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like nothing you've ever seen. And any, with your anthropological knowledge, it doesn't appear to be any sort of created by any sort of Earth civilization known to man. Appears to be similar to Mayan or Aztec, but certainly not.
It's moon
Yusuf is-
slug people.
Yeah, Eusephus and Devlin and Franklin would know too. You guys get to the statue room and you see that the decapitated dog statue is also headless here.
Maybe we should put the head back on the statue.
Is there
It seems
still
to fit.
that?
Yeah, it seems to fit.
Is there still brown slime coating the room with the chest?
Oh yes, there's slime everywhere
Okay. Just in
I
that
say
room or
we-
everywhere?
in the slime building.
Okay.
There's slime.
Okay.
I say we put the head back on the statue fellers.
You do. It seems to fit perfectly. Nothing unusual happens or anything like that. It doesn't actually stick, but it does fit perfectly. It's definitely the statue that it came off of.
So I guess as we're walking around, I'll be inquiring about like stuff that happened, and they'll be filling me in on what exactly this place is.
Whatever you
Assume-
do, don't take the lid off that one pit over there. That's a bad idea.
The well.
Yes.
As soon as you guys move toward the pyramid complex, a tall being appears between you and the gate, between you and the face, standing about 50 feet away from you as you approach the pyramid complex. The being stands well over 8 feet tall, but is thinner than the average human. And it looks something like this. It's the being's precise features are unclear because it's entirely clothed in a dull brown robe, and a hood completely obscures its face, and the long sleeves cover its hands. The
I bet it's-
being, go ahead.
I was just like in my head. I was like, I wonder if it's Williamson.
Probably. Well, Williamson wasn't 8 feet tall, so
Oh, maybe he's been on the moon. You know, the gravity's effects, etc.
you never know. Yeah. By the way, there is this weird, strange, cracked moon shape hanging behind the pyramid back there.
The moon has a moon.
This being turns towards you and bows slightly before you and begins speaking in a sibilant, reverberating voice. Now, check this out.
Before we go on, I do want to ask you, Dad. I also lost more than 5 sanity.
Yes, but you made your idea roll.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how that worked.
I may have given you an insane insight of some kind, but given the circumstances, there's really nothing to give you except for
Okay.
what you beheld. So, does everybody hear the wind?
Yes.
Lee, can you hear the wind?
Yes, there's wind on the moon. Science has failed me.
Lee, can you hear the wind?
I believe so.
All right. Turn your volume up so you can hear the wind good.
And like this.
I'm gonna play some clips for you.
So the figure bows to us. What is it wearing?
I just described it to you.
Sorry.
He's wearing a dull brown robe
Okay.
with a hood completely obscuring its face and long sleeves covering its hands. So I'm going to play these clips for you, and I'll give you the text for it afterwards.
All right.
It speaks to you.
Gentlemen, welcome to the moon. I trust your journey was interesting and gratifying. I have watched over you since your arrival in Central America. Your trip here is no accident. You must assist me. I am Andor, a philosopher of a species alas now extinct. Many thousands of years ago, my earthly body was demolished, and I came to the dream universe. But now have I decided to once again wield my powers over the lands of Earth. Sadly, when one's earthly body is destroyed, one may never leave the lands of dream. So I made my plans to send my magics over Earth, violating the laws that separate the lands of dream and nightmare from those of the waking world.
Alright, I'm gonna put that text in here, and there's more.
I am engaged in a great design to link forever my homes in each world, and it is now near complete. My rituals were capable of completing all the processes but 2 parts. It was necessary first that mortals from Earth break physically through Bendal Dolum. This you have done, and my gratitude is vast. Now it is necessary that mortal physical beings from Earth break back through once again at my temple here. This completes the cycle, and my sendings shall blanket the waking world once again. So, you see, my purpose is the same as yours. You wish to return to the waking world, and I wish to send you there. So go. Go.
So, at this point, you hear this echoing laughter coming from around you. And there's this flash of light. Strange colors begin swirling in the sky above you. And this figure just kind of disappears, just kind of phases out. And in its place, you see appear amid this sort of swirling maelstrom of colors the tree monster from Bendal Dolum. It's about 30 feet tall. It's got several legs, 3 or 4 legs. They appear to be covered in brownish, blackish hair. It has hooved feet. And from its waist up is just a writhing mass of green tentacles. It has lipless mouths gnashing kind of, all around it with green goo pouring out of these mouths.
Oh, man.
And it begins moving. Not towards you, but it begins kind of moving off to your right, and it seems to be kind of moving off to your right flank. At this point, you notice where the figure was standing at the base of the steps. You see, it's a little different in this pyramid because the face appears to be at the top of the stairs above you, right?
Yep.
Where this figure was standing at the base of the stairs, you can see littered on the ground appear to be a small pile of shiny objects. They appear to be golden medallions, several of them.
Oh.
This creature, this thing, first of all, I need everybody to make another sanity roll. It begins moving off to your right and moving closer now towards you. And its tentacles are just kind of whipping around like this. And it's giving these thunderous roars like it sounds like a lion's roar. And it strikes you, Eusephus. It's that same roar you heard that night at Folly Farm out in the woods.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
Ooh, we made it.
I made
Hey,
it
no
as
problem.
well.
Yusufus made it as well.
Oh, I did not. I did not make. I missed my roll. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Should have announced that.
All right, Edgar. Edgar, you lose 3. Jacob, you lose 3. Yusufus,
Yes.
you lose 11.
Ooh. That's not good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need an idea check for that, actually.
Do you also have the text of that
I have to
second
call it here
section?
pretty soon, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here, Lee.
I made
Staying for hours and hours because I would love to.
My
No,
idea.
I understand. Major idea. Okay, good. All right. So yeah, actually, here is a good place to stop.
Yep.
So
Can you post the text of that second blurb?
yeah,
The second
Yeah.
half of his speech there? Because I think I heard him say, I will spread my blight across the world again. And I just want to be absolutely certain that's what I heard.
that's what you heard. And also, the last thing you hear, as this horrid monstrosity is making its way towards you, is this.
Blanket.
You have no choice. Stay on this dream moon and brave the terrors of the moon beasts, or take your leave and return to the land you know. Tarry not long in your decision.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in this guy's stink back to Earth with me.
Yeah. All right. So,
Oh my god. That does not sound good.
Awesome. Great game.
Yeah, man. This is
Oh my god, what is that?
wild.
oh, that's our good friend Yogg-Sothoth off.
Ah,
Here he is.
of course.
Pretty cool, huh?
Good old
Friends.
Yogg-Sothoth. That's nice. That's a good.
Yogg-Sothoth.
That's a good.
I think we're friends, Lee. Nah.
Yeah.
We are loose acquaintances.
All right, guys. Good session.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun.
We'll wrap that up and continue next week.
And being on that boat was harrowing.
Yeah.
And then getting into the town was worse.
Yep. How you doing on sanity there?
I am low, man. I think let me pull up my character sheet.
What you got,
I'm
like,
at Dr.
2?
Franklin's levels.
I don't know. We can probably look at the tokens here and get a good idea just by looking at the bars.
36.
Holy cow. You're
Yeah.
a sane guy. For a killer.
Well, that's not gonna help my stability on that point.
Oh, actually, Franklin's didn't take on here. He's got 29 sanity left. I believe that one has 49. Yeah.
Alright. Well, that was a great session, guys.
It was.
Yeah. That was fun. And I actually had a lot of fun putting that together. Like I actually made those voices in a little program. I had fun doing that.
That was cool.
And
Yeah,
I'll,
great gameplay, everyone.
yeah, I'll post a link to those too so you can listen to them again. I'll post them in the Roll20 forums if you want
Nice.
to listen to them.